It's the start of a new day, a new week, and that means the start of new possibilities. And of course, you know what? You are with your favorite lifestyle breakfast team, the Vooka Breakfast Show. And my name is Utisika Masibugo Shabalala, your prime cut creative and your positivity dose of the day. Umamshengu omuhle. Indlovukazi yakwantu ngithi kunina baye. Your mornings are not the same without the Vooka Breakfast Show. And of course, the teamwork makes the dream work, meaning I am never alone. Because you know what? Mweketi My Money, the generator, is about to help me get your morning started. Mweketi, how are you this morning, my brother?
A very good morning to you, TC. I hope that you are very well for this wonderful kickstarter to the new week, and not only kickstarting the new week with a style, because today we are celebrating our 100th episode. So it's been a journey, and it's all thanks to the Vooka Nation who have been with us from day one up until this day, which marks our 100th episode. So we know that the journey continues. You know, we still have more, and you know, long way to go, man, because we've got more and epic, interesting mornings that we still going to give you right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So all you need to do is to be with us each and every morning from 7 a.m. up until 10 a.m. weekdays, Monday up until Friday. And also you can connect with us throughout our social media platforms. It is a Vooka Breakfast Show. Right now we are live on YouTube. All you need to do is to use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. And as we said, the episode, you need to use the hashtag 100th episode celebration, so that we can all celebrate and have a wonderful day right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So can't wait to be with you, together with the team throughout the show, just to give you that daily dose of positivity. For you to unpack for today, as you are seeing the pictures behind me, which is going to be our picture of the day. Going to be celebrating it in style, looking into the places that you can visit together with your friends and families, so that we can enhance our traveling experience and improve our bucket list with our friends. So can't wait to get into the information that we have for you. So all you need to do is you need to stay with us by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. And if you want to dial us in, the number to do that is 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. So just as I mentioned that we're going to be getting into today's picture of the day. So today is Canal Walker Shopping Center. So it is located in Cape Town's Sanctuary City Precinct, and is one of Africa's largest and most visually striking malls, styled in the Cape Venetian architecture. Since it's operating in October 2000, it has grown into a retail powerhouse with over 400 stores, including international brands like H&M, Zara, and JD Sports, alongside local favorites such as Cape Union Mart and Home. The mall spans nearly 150,000 square meters with 12 entrances, more than 8,000 parking bays, making it easily accessible from the N1 freeway. Its design features domed ceilings and spacious walkways, creating a grand yet welcoming atmosphere for shoppers and tourists alike beyond shopping. Canal Walk offers a full spectrum of entertainment and leisure. The new Metro cinemas include 4DX, VIP lounges, and Cape Town's largest 3-story high screen. Families can enjoy the Wonderland Arcade, bowling alleys, and the Freedom Adventure Park, which features the zip lines and play zones. Dining options range from fast food to sit-down restaurant with halal and vegetarian choices available in the vibrant food court. Canal Walk also champions sustainability, earning a 5-star green building rating and hosting community-driven art installation like its Blue Butterfly beadwork project. It's not just a mall, it's a cultural and lifestyle destination. You know what, TC? We can talk about Cape Town's ultimate shopping kingdom for a sec. Canal Walk is doing absolutely the most that it needs to be done, man.
Absolutely. Over 400 stores. That's not a mall, that's a city. From Zara and H&M to your lacquer local brands, everything under one stylish roof.
Man, imagine all of those scenic and beautiful pictures, and also the vibe, man. Venetian architecture, doomed ceilings, and even cinema with 4DX and a screen taller than your weekend plans.
Man, Wiketi. So, fact. Plus, the family fun is obviously endless. There's arcades, bowling, zip lines, and the Freedom Adventure Park. It's giving fun for all.
Come on, man. And speaking with fun for all, so whether you are there for fashion, food, or just a canal walk, it's full-on experience. If you are in the mother city, don't miss out. And you know what you can't miss? Topical shuttle service with exclusive travel packages only meant for you. So all I need you to do is to buckle up and check this out.
Escape the ordinary and discover the extraordinary with Soweto Tours. Whether you're a group of friends or a family looking for a memorable getaway, Soweto Tours has you covered. Our all-inclusive tours take you to South Africa's most stunning destinations, from the scenic beauty of Mpumalanga to the vibrant life of Gauteng and the coastal charm of Durban.
Once again, a very good morning. Let us keep you updated with your latest news headliner. Starting off with your first news headliner, Defend Our Democracy responds to Mkwanazi's claims. Defend Our Democracy urges action if Mkwanazi's claims are verified, stressing that President Ramaphosa must restore ethical leadership and faith in justice institution. Naneli Kuani warns that without public trust, governance fail its people. The president's address was highly anticipated amid serious allegations of political interference by Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. On the next headliner, PRASA spends 7.5 billion rand on idle trains. PRASA's 7.5 billion rand train project faces scrutiny, with 2.5 billion spent on refurbishment that remain idle. Legal experts caution that cancelling the contract could trigger major financial and legal repercussions, making it a complex and costly dilemma in South Africa's transport sector. In the next headline, lion number rise as 2 male joins population. 2 7-year-old male lions from Kgalagadi National Park have been relocated to Ado Elephant National Park in the Eastern Cape. After a short acclimatization period in Holding Boma, they were released into a wild. Early observations show promising signs of their successful adaptation. Now, heading over to your sports news, starting off with rugby news. 14-man boxer bounced back to blank Italy in gutsy display at the Bay. The Springbok thrashed Italy 45-0 in Gqeberha, sealing a 2-0 series despite playing most of the match with 14 men after Jasper Wieser red card. Edwin van der Merwe scored twice and earned player of the match honors, while Grant Williams, Kane Moody, Malcolm Max and Makazole Mapimpi and Jan Hendrik Wessel also crossed the line. The boxer showed tactical flair and defensive grit, with Willie Leroux marking his 100th test cap in style. Now, in your women football news, in WAFCON, Morocco top Group A with a win over Senegal. Zambia qualify also. Morocco edged Senegal 1-0 to top Group A at WAFCON 2025 thanks to Yasmin Mrabet penalty after a VAR reviewed foul by Senegal's goalkeeper. Despite early dominance and missed chances, Morocco held firm in the second half with 7 points. They advanced alongside Zambia, while Senegal are likely eliminated. Also through to the quarterfinals are Nigeria, Algeria, South Africa and Mali. Now, on your men's football news, Lionel Messi extends MLS record with a double Miami win. Lionel Messi scored twice in Inter Miami's 2-1 win over Nashville, bringing his tally to 16 goals in 16 MLS games and tying Sam Surridge atop the scoring charts. His goals came from a free kick and a clever interception, marking his 5th straight brace. Miami now sits 5th in the Eastern Conference, just 5 points behind leaders Philadelphia with 3 games in hand. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more sports and news updates throughout the show. Don't forget to share your thoughts on these headlines with us on social media using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, and send us your voice note on 060-493-3226. Now, let's get you updated with your latest traffic update with TC Gomazibugo standing by.
So, Vooka Nation, I hope you are safe and ready on those roads. But if you are on your roads, here is your traffic update. There's N1 on the N1 northbound after the Winnie Mandela Drive. Earlier, there has been an earlier crash that has been cleared. Traffic is now flowing smoothly. On the R21 northbound at in Benoni near the R23, there's been a crash that's been reported and the right lane is closed. So drive with caution when in this area. And now in your last traffic update, the N1 northbound past Winnie Mandela Drive, a separate crash has been reported and the left lane is now closed. Reduce speed and stay alert. That's all for your traffic. And if you do happen to be on the roads, do make sure to share your traffic update using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show and hashtag Vooka Traffic, or send us your voice notes on 060-493-3226. Now, let's get you started with that energetic start to your day.
Hey family.
Hi,
My name is Tisiga Mazbugo Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
My name is Musi Miss
my name is Ketsu Ketumgunu.
on the Vooka
Vooka Breakfast Show.
Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various experts from different fields.
We're going to take care of you and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show brought to you by the Blinko Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there.
This is Ted, the Wild Irish Comedian. You're watching Vooka Breakfast Show. Tune in every morning, Monday to Friday. Well, yeah, something blossom memory. Yes. Wow.
24 minutes past 7, it is the time, and you are now watching and also listening to the one and only epic and morning interesting show, the Vooka Breakfast Show, man. You know how we do things right here, man. Bringing you all of the exclusive content that you've never seen in Soweto. We are the best in the best. We are the best in the market in Soweto. If you ask anyone who's doing things like this in Soweto, no one would say anything rather than saying the Vooka Breakfast Show. And speaking of that, today we are celebrating the 100th episode. Come on, man. This deserves a very huge special shout out, man. To the journey that we have had, because 100 represent kind of what is it in the number thing? Century, right? Is it a decade or century?
It's a decade.
Aibo, Batung.
Isn't it?
100 is a decade.
Oh, decade is 10. Sorry, century. My bad. Namang Vooka, ngangabuki.
Vooka Ntombazana. It should feel like it. It should feel like the 100th episode because, wow, it's been a journey, man. It's been a journey. So it's a journey that we are proud to share with you, man. All of the moments that we have had here, because we know that it does not only start. It's not starting. Wait, what am I saying?
Hey.
It's not ending. It's starting.
Yeah.
It's not ending, but it's starting. Because wherever you are, man, you might thinking that 100 days is a lot. But trust me, man, there are results in each and every day that you spend in your life. It is Monday, man. We're going to be looking into motivation because this episode, the 100th episode to be precise, it is our motivation to keep on going. And it's also a motivation that we give to you, that wherever you are, whether you're listening, whether you're driving, you're at home, you're watching from your phone, man, we want you to be motivated. And please, man, I think this one is a special one that we can celebrate together with the kids to show them, man, anything is possible. Whether you have a child at home because the schools are closed right now, just give them and let them watch the Vooka Breakfast Show because we're going to be speaking about interesting things, interesting things that involve anyone that is around us. So tell me, man, how are you doing this morning and how was your weekend?
Hey man, Mo, this morning I'm doing great because like you said, we're on our 100th episode, and for me, as a part of the Vooka team, and you know what, essentially a huge part of the Vooka Nation, I'm proud. I'm quite proud of how far we've come and everything we've achieved ever since starting, this breakfast show.
Yeah.
And of course, all the guests that have graced our presence right here on the show. I want to say to everyone who has contributed, who has watched, who has subscribed, who engages with us on a daily, I want to say to you, I am grateful that you are a part of the Vooka Nation, and it's because of you that every day I wake up and I am motivated to be here. And of course, you know what? My heart is full. And essentially my weekend was amazing, Mo. Spend time with the fam. Like you mentioned, the kids are, home. It's school holidays. The cocomelons are driving you crazy. They're at home. But you know what?
Amen.
It's all love. And of course, I did some work. There's no rest for the weekend.
Hey,
Not
man.
that I'm wicked, but wicked in a cool way, like wicked, you know. But you know, I know that Mondays, when Monday hits, I'm coming to be here, to be alive, to be live, to be awake. You know, I'm one of the people, the early risers, the bag chasers. You know, those who are, you know, those who wake up and get it, the go-getters. I'm part of those people, and that makes me proud to be part of the Vooka Nation, because that's what we stand for essentially here. You know, those who get up and get it. You know, the woke gang. You know, those who wake up every day with, you know, that mindset. Uguti, you know what? It's a start of a new day, so it means anything is possible and I can make it happen, and it all starts with me. I am all for those individuals who get up and get it, those go-getters, the early risers, those who, you know, get the earliest birds, who get the worm, and the bag chasers. Like I said, I'm proud of you guys, because you, like me, you know, you get it. You wake up and you get your mind in the game, and you get yourself in the game. And of course, that's no small feat, because every day, you know, there's things that tell us don't. But you know what? We're like, we will and we can, and we are doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially, that's what my Monday is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think this day, it speaks to a lot of people. It speaks to us, you know, also. And if you are one of the person out there who is thinking like, you know what, man, this year has been a tough year for me, I think this is a reminder for you to, you know what, keep on going and do anything with consistency, purpose, and also community, man. Be engaging with your community, because you know, man, when you start doing things in the community, that's where you grow. That's where you find a lot of encouragement to keep on doing the things that you want, man. Hitting 100 episode isn't just about numbers, man. It's about consistency. It's about purpose, and it means that we showed up through the good days, tough days, sleepy mornings, man. Because you know, man, for some of the people, man, when it comes to waking up in the morning, it's difficult, man. When that alarm comes off, all you think about is like, yo, nkosi yami, ngivukelani namhlanje. But don't worry, man. Those sleepy mornings and joyful moments, we kept on going. That's a lesson for life too. So wherever you are and thinking about giving up, just think about the journey that you have traveled, because sometimes the most dangerous thing and a trap that we put ourselves under is looking at the destination. The destination sometimes make you feel like you are long way from where you want to go. But look at the journey you have been, man. You know, with us, there are a lot of things that are happening, that happened, you know, and that are still happening, because life isn't just about a big leap, man. It's about the small committed steps you take each and every single day on your life. Whether you're chasing a dream, rebuilding yourself, or trying again after failing, remember that showing up creates magic to some people. You know, wherever you are, some people are blessed with your presence, or just checking up on them. You matter. You matter. So this day is for all of us, man. 100, we are doing it. So I have Neliswa Mni right there on our YouTube saying, good morning, #Vooka Breakfast Show, waiting for the epic 100th episode. We are inside. There's no turning back now. There's no saying, we are going to shoot tomorrow. You know, no, we are inside. We are deep in within now. You know, just like when you have done something and they tell you that there's no turning back, my sister or my brother. You know, there is no turning back. So today it is the 100th episode. We are celebrating it. And thank you so much right there. Neliswa Mni sending that $14, man. And using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag episode 100, hashtag #1 breakfast show in the blog. I'm still going to say it, man. I'm still going to say it that we are the best in Soweto. You know, ask around when it comes to the best breakfast show. They will tell you. And they still are going to know about the Vooka Breakfast Show. Here's to 100 episodes of growth, good vibes, and greatness, of course, that comes your way. And guess what, man? We are just getting started. So whatever you're working on, keep going. Your 100th moment is also coming too. So this is your energetic start to your day. We are always going to remind you of the energetic vibes and that positive dose to your day that you always need, because you know what, man, what's your day without that daily dose of positivity, right? And then I have KTTU at 100
Yabo.
Good morning. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag Vooka Team, hashtag Rivugile, hashtag episode 100 vibes. Here's to the next 200, right? And then with a glass of champagne, I mean, that's where we need Doug, right? Say, Lola, we need Doug today. You know, getting a pinotage.
Yes,
you know, this is
man.
a time to have a glass of pinotage right now, you know, just to celebrate greatness, just to celebrate the journey that we have been and the journey that we are still going to be in. You know, it's a journey that we share with you, a journey that we motivate you to also have in your own life, man. You know, we know that some of us will never going to get to 100 years, but me, I know I'm going to get to 100 years. I'm going to live my life, you know, to the fullest. I mean, come on, man. Turning 100.
Yeah, man.
It's a big thing. It's a big thing, you know, because we know that our Bahate life expectancy, hey, for some of us, it's like 22, you know, 38, if not mistaken. But no. It's not about that, man. Today, it's all about the growth, you know. So whatever growth you have been on, the journey that you are on, please don't give up in that moment. Do not give in. Do not let anyone stay in your way, man. Just believe in yourself and pray to God, because you know what? When it comes to prayer, man, prayer solves a lot of things in our lives, right? So we are just here to give you those moments. We're here to give you the message that you need, because it's Monday. What is Monday without motivation? Some of you had a very epic and interesting weekend, you know, from where we come from. So it is a kickstart to a new week. So if you had an epic weekend, man, please share it with us. Yes, we're still in July. It's still cold, but we know that the weather is starting to ease up on us as we are, you know, beginning to see, you know, increase in our temperatures, where we have your 21 degrees, man, because today the highest is going to be 21 degrees. So it's a good day for you and your kids to go outside, you know, go visit the mall, go travel, man, go to Gold Reef City and those places that kids enjoy going to, right? So yeah, man, can't wait to share those moments with you, because there are a lot of moments. And before we do that, man, there is something that we're also going to be touching on, you know, which is, you know, work-life balance. What is a healthy life balance? Because of course, man, when we're speaking about balance, you have to differentiate between what are the things that make you feel balanced, you know, and how to now separate yourself from, you know, having that work life and your life outside of work. How do you balance the two? Do you take things that you're going through to home or to school, or do you take things from work, you bring them home? How do you create balance? I mean, for someone, it creates balance for them, but it's something that we're going to be looking into the signs that why you are out of balance, right? I'm going to share with you some of the signs that why you are out of balance right now. Not any balance, but a healthy life balance, and also tips to reclaim your balance, because you need them. Those are the advices that you need for this epic and wonderful Monday morning on the 14th of July 2025. All right, still on that, man, when we started, of course, we started with your picture of the day and followed up with news headlines that I want to break down with you in terms of what is happening so that we can stay updated. Yes, there is a video that I saw, a very young person, you know, who explained in terms of you not wanting to be part of the political life that is going out there. You don't want to pay attention to what politics are. But the reality is, politics is the bread that you buy. Politics is you scrolling on social media. Politics is you working, for your family, trying to provide for yourself. Everything you just do is politics. So even if you don't want to be part of, politics, whatever that you do enhances, the political dynamic that we see in our country. And as of yesterday, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, gave the nation address with Mkhwanazi's claims, right? But it's something that I'm going to get into after, debunking some of these headlines that we went through. So, the first one, Defend Our Democracy responded to Mkhwanazi's claim. So, the civil society group Defend Our Democracy has entered the national conversation, calling for swift and ethical action following the explosive allegation made by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. So, the group demands accountability if Mkhwanazi's claims are verified, right? And then it urges the president to restore ethical leadership within the cabinet and within the national executive, right? And then it highlights the risk of eroding public trust in a justice institution. Naledi Kwali from the movement stated that governance collapses without public confidence. The statements came ahead of Ramaphosa's highly anticipated address on the matter yesterday at 7 o'clock. So this implication, it adds that civil pressure to political pressure on the presidency reinforces the narrative that this is not just a political scandal, it's a governance crisis. And this could also push for parliamentary or judicial oversight if momentum grows in this one. So from the courtroom to the court of public opinion, Defend Our Democracy is calling for true ethics and leadership. The question is, will the president act? And yes, yesterday the president acted. If you don't know what he has done, I am going to share with you what he has done. And we also have a clip of him doing that announcement at the Union building yesterday. So please do make sure that you stay with us on these interesting ones. And then on the next one, in terms of the mismanagement of the funds of the state, we're still having those issues, and we still need the accountability of the ministers, playing a huge role in making sure that whatever monies that are put into the budget are used, because we did have the budget in the last 2 weeks, right? So Praza spends 7.5 billion on idle trains. The Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa is under scrutiny after it emerged that billions were spent on trains, many of which are now sitting unused. Imagine that, a lot of money was spent in terms of refurbishing some of the trains, because we know that our transport system in South Africa needs a very huge boost, right? So total spent was 7.5 billion, and with 2.5 billion rands on train refurbishment alone, these refurbished trains are not in active service. So these trains are not moving. So 2.5 billion was spent on trains that have not been moving. So this one also calls for a very huge of accountability. Even the Commission of Inquiry, if we can also mention that on top of it. So legal experts say cancelling the contracts could lead to serious financial and legal consequences. So the issue also highlights long-standing inefficiencies and mismanagement in the South Africa's rail sector. So this one implies that adds pressure on Praza's leadership and Transport Ministry, and we know that the Minister of Transport is Barbara Creasy. She is the one responsible for all of these wasteful expenditures that are happening within the government. Public outrage is out there over the wasteful expenditure. It may intensify. So the future rail project may face funding and trust challenges. So 7.5 billion rands later, and still no ride. Idle trains, legal threat, and frustrated commuters. Has PRASA derailed itself once again? it's something that when an investigation go deeper into finding what is going on, guys, why would you use so much money but still transport is not, improved in South Africa? Those are some of the developing stories that we're going to be sharing with you right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So if you happen to know anything about them, please do make sure that you share them with us on YouTube by using the hashtag of Vooka Breakfast Show. And also you can call us in using the number 060-493-3226. So that's 060-493-3226. And then on the last one that we have here, lion numbers rise as 2 male join population, right? The context of it, in a boost of wildlife conservation, 2 male lions from Kgalagadi National Park have been successfully relocated to the Edo Elephant National Park. So the lions are both 7 years old, initially kept in a holding boma to acclimatize. And early monitoring shows that they are adapting well to their new environment. The relocation aims to strengthen genetic diversity and balance lion population across reserves. So, positive news for biodiversity and conservation efforts. You're asking yourself that, how is this helping us? It is improving our biodiversity in South Africa and conservation efforts. And it also adds to tourism and ecological health in the Edo region. And it also demonstrates the success of interpark wildlife management. So, 2 kings on the move. The kings of the jungle. Edo's pride is growing. So conservation wins nature as it gets fresh and also raw, man. Interesting things that are taking place in our country. So these are the things. Take your kids to the zoo, man. As much as it is winter, some of the things that we're speaking about, that, it's winter, and when it's winter, some of the animals, they hide themselves. Don't worry. Some of the big kings out there, they are happy to be in your presence, right? But lastly, in terms of what happened yesterday, the highlights of the, highly anticipated president's address in the Union Building, in accordance to the claims that Mkhwanazi made, by saying some of the cabinet members are included in the crimes, not only crimes, but political task killings, right? Some of the big names are there. And he also said Senzo Mchunu, the minister of the SAPS, right? He's also implicated on some of those crimes. And he denied that he knows Brian Mohosi, a person that is also implicated on those crimes, right? So, what prompted this speech and what led to Cyril Ramaphosa? If you did not know, what prompted him to speak yesterday? Because he did not even take a lot of time. Some of the people argue that, Mr. President, you could have just sent a statement on Twitter. We could have read, or send an email to someone so that they can give that to the public. But KwaZulu-Natal's Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, publicly alleged that a criminal syndicate has infiltrated South Africa's law enforcement intelligence structure, judiciary and metro police. He accused the police minister Senzo Mchunu and Deputy Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya of disrupting a major investigation and dismantling a task force probing politically motivated killings. So, immediate action and suspension and inquiry was supposed to be done. So, yesterday, some of the breaking news. Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, the president, announced that Minister Senzo Mchunu has been placed on immediate leave. So, Mchunu will be placed on immediate leave as we speak right now. Right, so he appointed Prof. Firoz Kachalia, a law professor and anti-corruption advisor, as acting Minister of Police. Effective on August, an interim cabinet minister fills the gap until. So this is what the president had to say yesterday in his speech, courtesy of the ENCA covering.
In order for the commission to execute its functions effectively, I have decided to put the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, on leave of absence with immediate effect. The Minister has undertaken to give his full cooperation to the Commission to enable it to work properly. I have decided to appoint Professor Firoz Kachalia as Acting Minister of Police Professor Kachalia is currently a professor of law at the University of the Witwatersrand and is the chairperson of the National Anti-Corruption Advisory Council. He previously served as an MEC of Community Safety in Gauteng. I'm appointing Professor Kachalia in terms of Section 91(3) subsection C of the Constitution, which empowers the Constitution to select no more than 2 ministers from outside the National Assembly.
Yep. So these claims that Cyril Ramaphosa has made and the announcement it leads to the launch of a judicial commission. A judicial commission of inquiry has been established, chaired by Acting Deputy Chief Justice Mbuyiseni Madlanga alongside Advocate Sesi Baloyi and Sandile Khumalo. So the commission's scope is to investigate infiltration of criminal syndicates into law enforcement, intelligence, prosecution, the judiciary, and the metro forces. They are also going to examine allegation of collusion, interference, suppression of investigation, intimidation of whistleblowers, and the misuse of the country's intelligence. They're also going to look into political involvement by current and former officials and recommend disciplinary or criminal actions where necessary. And speaking of the former officials, looking into the former minister, Bheki Cele, was also mentioned, in those crimes that were made. So the commission is going to be delivered. Commission is going to deliver the interim reports at 3 and 6 months, with the final report submitted to the President, Speaker of the National Assembly, and the Chief Justice. It also can recommend immediate criminal referrals, suspensions, and oversight, and rebuild the public's trust. So some of the strategic framing upholding the rule of law. So the President also emphasized that this move is essential to protecting the constitutional governance within our country and reinstating public confidence in the SAPS and combating crime and corruption. He stressed that continued operational functionality of forces during the inquiry and urged the public and institutional support and also cooperation. We know that this is going to be leading, and it also led to a lot of aspects. And what do they mean? The first aspect will be the political accountability and what it means. Removing a sitting minister is significant and also speaks to Ramaphosa's anti-corruption pledge that he made. Coalition and public pressure. We know that the GNU is also in part of it. Some of the members are going to complain in terms of the action that the president has taken against the minister. So the ANC and DA coalition is fragile. Opposition parties, including the DA, IFP, have criticized Ramaphosa for not going far enough, even considering a parliamentary inquiry. In terms of the economic implications, crime costs South Africa minus 10% of the gross domestic product, and investors view crime and institutional instability as a major risk. So what is it that we need to watch next? We need to look out for the Commission Act swiftly on the transparency that we need as countries. And will Senzo Mchunu face formal charges or be unmasked as a scapegoat? Lastly, will the ANC and the DA coalition hold together under these strains? Let me know if you would like some of the developing stories right there on YouTube by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Or also you can send us a voice note, man, if you were listening to the president giving his speech yesterday. And just tell us, man, what do you think of the allegations and the act that he took against Minister Senzo Mchunu? I mean, Senzo Mkhwanazi came with all of the proof. And it's the same thing as TC. I saw you stealing the pen on top of the table. Why aren't you getting fired? Because now you did the crime.
Yes.
There's proof. Mm-hmm. So why are you getting suspended?
I also don't know.
You are a leader.
I mean, I guess, it's due process, but also due process enjani when there's evidence of transgression.
Yeah.
There's evidence of a crime. So that warrants for an immediate dismissal.
Yeah.
Why it's not happening, that's something that needs to be explained.
Of course.
And looked into. Is it a protection of something?
Yeah.
Is there a thing of ithi ngikhulume nawe esayidini jo awungayenzi lento lena wena like hayi lento ufuna ukuyenza hayi
Yeah, because
like you see what I'm saying, so it's suspicious.
Yeah.
It's really suspicious, and it really puts into question the integrity of the justice institutions of South Africa, because if there's evidence, I mean, there was an accusation, then there was evidence, and now that the evidence is there, what's the recourse? What's the action that is being taken? Suspension? No, that's like a slap on the wrist.
True.
It's like, you know what? You can get involved in crime syndicates. You can, get involved in corruption. All we'll do is give you a slap on the wrist. That does not send a strong message to anyone. I mean, if I were, it's something that we've been seeing happen within the government, where accusations come out, evidence is presented, and then it's wishy-washy when it comes to like what punishment needs to happen. Why?
Yeah. And some of the implications and political interference that include that some feel like, Ramaphosa did not take harsh actions against Minister Senzo Mchunu because, in terms of him helping him to be in the presidency, so we can't, make harsh decisions here. Because if politicians are helping each other, these are the decisions that we see in our country. Because you can't fire me. I helped you to be where you are. What do you mean you're going to remove me from the position?
You go against everything that we were trying to build when you did put me where you put me, or help me or get where I need to be.
Yeah.
You thought, what? I'm gonna get here, and then it's gonna be a free for all with the country's resources. It's gonna be a free for all when it comes to corruption.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It does not mean, this is the thing that I think people get wrong, right? Mokete, just because you help me get where I am, it does not mean that when I am there and you're doing things that go against everything that we stand for or that we stood for when we spoke about why we are doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then when the status quo or the changes because of you, and now you want me to be lenient on you because you're like, no, but but you're going against everything we are trying to build.
Yeah.
You are becoming the enemy of the progress we were trying to make. So why am I helping you?
Yeah.
Why am I being lenient? I need to actually make the biggest example out of you. Because you are the one now, you understand the sacrifices, you know what happened and why we did what we needed to do to get where we are. So why are you sabotaging it?
I mean, with politics, it's a different game, and we are seeing it happening and unfolding in front of our eyes, because a lot of people were disappointed when, Ramaphosa put Senzo Mchunu in an immediate leave. They expected for Senzo Mchunu to be removed, entirely removed from his position of becoming a minister. And also the Commission of Inquiry, remembering some of the cases that Chief Justice Zondo went through last year, and a lot of money was spent. The state's money was spent, for the Commission of Inquiry to be done. And we were told that that book, consisted of the truth. It's going to reveal some of the political diasporas that are happening behind the doors. But we never got anything out of the Commission of Inquiry. So the question is, what is it that we're going to get? What is new that we're going to get in this Commission of Inquiry? Some of the things that we are going to be looking into 3 to 6 months, the final report will be coming in, and we will be happy and gladly to share them with you, right? So if you happen to know anything and you want to share something with us, please do make sure that you use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, or you can dial us in by using the 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. 3 minutes till we hit 8 o'clock, and still celebrating our 100th episode. Seeing there, Zinzi Elizabeth coming through saying it's finally the day we've been waiting for, episode 100. Yes, we are celebrating this morning. This morning is all about the positivity that we're going to be sharing with you, right? Zinzi comes through and say, good morning, Vooka Nation and Breakfast Sivukile on this exciting special day, and we celebrate a big milestone with the Vooka Breakfast Show team. We are so proud of you all. Thank you so much, man. It would never be possible without you guys. Since from day one, you've had us. And we're still gonna be with you. I don't know until how many episodes, maybe 20,000.
Hey, God willing, inshallah. You know what? I really hope that, I'm like I said, I'm grateful for the Vooka Nation that has been with us from day one. Abo Zinzi, Abo Mamtembi, and everybody who keeps joining the family. You know what? We do what we do for you, and we do what we do because of you. And of course, thank you to those who buy us a cup of coffee or, a smoothie nyana, by subscribing and joining the Vooka Nation and sending those super chats. That is the love that I feel, the energy we speak of. It's an energy exchange right here on what is obviously by now your best lifestyle morning show, man. 100th episode, 100. That's no small feat, guys. I'm sure now I'm 100. That's not going to be a small feat. And you want everyone to celebrate. And I hope everybody that's here is obviously celebrating with us. And of course, we're going to have a jam-packed show for you because, of course, we've got some more guests that will be gracing our show. And they have insightful conversations and some interesting things to share with you. So do stay tuned and engage with us. Of course, the number to engage with us on is 060-493-3226. Mweketi. How are you feeling vele about this 100th episode? They hyping us. See, the energy is amazing. It's electric, man.
While you're still speaking, man, Zinzi blessed us with a super chat. 48 rand.
Cooler, man.
The message behind it is cheers, guys, to the big 100 Vooka team. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate, your support, your love, and your appreciation that you always give us each and every morning. We know, Guti, it's not easy to wake up, but you guys are always here with us, man. The big 100 is what we are celebrating, and we are happy to celebrate it with you. Today is all about us, guys. Don't worry. If you want to say anything, send a voice note, call us. It's a birthday, man. You understand? So it's those vibes that we're going to give, celebrate the party, man. Whether there's a guest, they got to know, hey, you guys are involved in this whole thing, right? So a very huge thanks to all of you guys who are supporting. And man, don't be scared to some with some super chat, with some white levers. Understand? So thank you so much.
Smoothie. Smoothie, guys. Smoothie that has matcha and has chai seeds, and it also has some bananas. Isn't this color? Isn't no energy? So thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Keep it up, man. Because one of the things of becoming someone who is a very supportive person, you are always encouraged to keep it up to become the person that you are. Please don't change. And also invite your friends and families, share the link with them and let them subscribe so that this journey can also have them, so that on our next 100th episode, they can also be part of it, right? I can see right there, Casto coming through saying the big 100, the big clean. The big clip, Baba. 100. I'm a 2000. Yo, that's a 100, bro.
As about the big O.
That's the big quella right there. Wait, you understand? The big 100 in the bag. The Gen Zs will tell you, Gucci, yo, Vooka, you guys got that big 100. 100 in the bag. You
100
feel
in the
me?
bag,
You
man.
smell me? So, yeah, man, nice things are happening. And speaking of nice things, before we take a short break and give you your daily bread, man, yesterday, there's a team that shook the world. You know, they've shaken the world and they did the most unthinkable, right? So, yesterday, Chelsea defeated PSG 3-0 on the Club World Cup, right? And that is...
I don't know anything about soccer, but all I know is...
man. I gotta tell you, man. It was dramatic and thrilling, you know, to watch. Because we all know that PSG was just wiping anyone that was coming in their way. They did the most. And... predictions, man. Predictions. Everyone was like, PSG is going to win, right? I just want to show you something because SuperSport always do this polls where people vote. People are like, what are you asking us, man? We know that this is where it's going, right? So I just want to show you the poll on how it looked like, you know, on what people thought is going to happen on a game between Chelsea and PSG. So they asked the question, right? So let me send it on WhatsApp so that we can see it on what happened and how people responded, because those numbers are very, very, very interesting. Okay, so this message can't be displayed here because it is a poll. So they asked a poll. They said, who are you backing up in Sunday's final, Chelsea or PSG? And Chelsea only got 5,000 people vouching for them, and PSG got 12,800 people. And that is a very huge difference because it speaks a lot. It's like, you know, being the underdog inside the room. You know, Bakfaga Nami ringing, but who's gonna be like, guys, come on, Mo's gonna beat her. You know, Mo's gonna do everything in his power to defeat TC. And TC has got something interesting.
Una something.
You know,
Packing.
You know. So Cole Palmer scored in the 22nd and the 30th minute. Also followed by Joao Pedro added his third with a stunning chip in the 43rd minute. And one of the interesting thing is Donald Trump was there to watch the game, right? So I have some of the highlights with me right here, you know, to show you what happened yesterday. So this is the first goal that was scored by Chelsea, which is Cole Palmer twice. Same position, same place. That's why they called him a Cole Palmer. So it was a very wonderful goal, man, assisted by Gusto, scored in the first half. So the second goal also followed up, and it was a position. This boy is good, man. This boy is good. They were shocked. And I just wanted you to hear some of the background, you know, voices of the commentary, because no one could believe the video and play it again and just hear, you know, the voices of the commentators in the background, right? So, is this a second goal? Yes. So just listen to this, man. Listen to this.
Maybe they're expecting more space.
Find the fullbacks again.
Luis Enrique turns around in disgust. Here's Cole.
It's Cole Palmer again.
He's on a Club World Cup final hat trick. He loves that bottom corner, all right, of this tournament. Chelsea.
Man, that was wonderful. And also, man, speaking of the third goal that finished the game, it was from Malo Gusto. You know, a very good passer, also from Cole Palmer, who assisted him to score the third, because the second half it was a disciplinary action as a PSG midfielder man Joao Neves was sent off in the 83rd minute after pulling Maka Kukurela's hair. So I just wanted to show that also in terms of the frustrations that comes with losing, man, because you know, man, when you lose, you do everything you can. So there is a clip you're going to see shortly in your screen how you know, Neves pulled Mark Cucurella with his hair. So that's what happened. The frustrations, and finalized that the PSG were finished, and they are. Again, In 2021, they did it, and they're doing it again, once again in 2025. So this is the historical significance. Tactical notes and performances, man. For those who were watching the game, we saw that Vitinha was very absent from the game. Why? Because PSG were expected to press the game. So they got the coin toss and they started first with the kick-off. So Enzo Maresca deployed an aggressive high press strategy that overwhelmed PSG's midfield and defense. We did not see any of Fabian Ruiz. So Cole Palmer, in terms of his performance, he was awarded with a golden ball, which is the man of the match for his 2 goals and assist. So Chelsea claim their second World Cup, previously winning in 2021, and this was the first final featuring two European sides, and the first since 2000 involving teams from the same confederations. So we know that big money was spoken before this tournament was expanded in terms of how much is the team going to win when they win the Club World Cup. And guess what? Chelsea are going to receive 93 million euros. 93 million euros is the tournament prize money, total prize money, and a lucrative payout that people, were having conversations with in terms of, now this is a tournament to watch, as we saw all of the games being broadcasted on our screens, right? So Luis Enrique claimed his shove was intended to de-escalate the post-match intention. So very interesting things took place, and for people who were behind Chelsea, man, we'd like to say whatever hope that you had, the faith that you had in them, man, please continue to have in them, because what they did, man, was absolutely amazing. So shout out to the one and only, the Blues, man. Chelsea FC. Right, yeah. Just let me know, man, if you're watching the game, in terms of your remarks, what you saw, and, some of the takeaways that you got from the game right there, man. Just let me know right there by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. What we're going to do right now is to take a short break, and then we come back, man. We get straight into our daily bread of what we are going to be having. Today in history, celebrity birthdays, and of course, word of the day. We know that Vooka is also celebrating its birthday today. So please, you do not want to miss some of those highlights that we've got for you. So please don't go anywhere.
Vooka Breakfast Show. We're out here in the heart of Soweto, Dobsonville. This is right next to Zondi Hills, and just before you get to Broad Fisher Club. I'm out here. My name is Musi Nest. I'm out here with the one and only maximum temperature. I'm working my TC Shabanana Wakamazibugo, and of course our station manager, the one and only Manelin Lyric. And we're traveling out here, man. This is what we do on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Yeah, you gotta get it fresh.
We are fresh and nice. Now it's time to take the information to the people.
Of course, like Mo just mentioned, do stay tuned, comment, like, subscribe, share your thoughts and your opinions and everything else in between. We're going to be coming to a street to do live near you, wanting to know what your thoughts are out there on the street.
Of course, we've got TCO Wamazibugo with the traffic update. Right now, we are going to N1 southbound to make sure that whatever that you guys get, it is real-time information. So, looking at Mukhorosi, we have robots that are not working right here, but the traffic is moving. We're going to look at when is your rush hour time, when people are from the work, or from school,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Yes, I'm going to give you your daily update. So do make sure that you stay with us. Mobile Vooka Breakfast Show.
Yes, sir.
12 minutes past 8, and you're still watching the Vooka Breakfast Show, your energetic starter to your day, accompanied by that daily dose of positivity. Located in the heart of Johannesburg, it is Soweto, Dobsonville. That is where we are streaming live. So all I need you to do is to be with us throughout our social media platforms, right? So all you need to do is to use the hashtag of Vooka Breakfast Show and use Vooka Breakfast Show to search us throughout our social medias. We are Vooka Breakfast Show on TikTok, Vooka Breakfast Show on Instagram, and we are also Vooka at Vooka Daily on X. Right, so please do make sure that you stay with us as we're celebrating our 100th episode. Each and every time, whenever we come back from the break, we need to emphasize that this is the 100th episode. And some of the comments they came in, some of the people they shared a beautiful super chat with us, just to enjoy the day. Because, hey, man, he bet the year too. We are growing up, and our growth could have been nothing without you guys. So thank you so much. May God continue to bless you with the love and the appreciation that you guys have been showing us.
That's birthday, anniversary.
Birthday.
Anniversary.
Birthday.
Anniversary.
Anniversary ganjani, man.
Okay, maybe not the anniversary, but like a milestone. Yeah, it's a milestone. It's not a birthday per se.
We were born today.
But
we can call it
January the 20.
January.
Yeah, January. Yeah, it was month in January. I remember very well. Episode 1. Well,
not deep into February, going to March.
It was January.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's okay. I don't blame you.
29th, 27th.
January.
The last week of January. I remember.
Why do I feel like we spent the whole month, man, going back and forth, trying to figure out when it's going to be our first
Remember we
episode?
said the first 2 weeks, I get it was dedicated to whatever.
Yeah.
I get it because of whatever was happening.
Yeah.
And then those 2 weeks, because my phone died on the 16th of January.
Is that how you remember?
Yeah, I mean. Because I remember on the 17th we came.
Yeah.
And then we said 2 weeks later, we're starting on the Monday.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Banele on the Wednesday. Yeah, so it was January the 20-something.
So next year, Jan, we are going to be celebrating
a year.
A year.
A year, my brother.
So today we are celebrating a milestone. And I don't know how many episodes we are going to be when we are celebrating. 200 and something.
I'm certain. In January, we're going to be celebrating 200 and something episodes, my brother. Yeah.
Yes. Yo.
episodes. And man, it's been a great one.
Yeah, but tell me, man, how are you feeling and what does this mean to you? Give me your sentiments, man.
Look, I mean, when our Good Morning just got legendary.
Yeah.
I think today is a very special day.
Yeah.
The 14th of July, 2025. We need to remember this day. It's today in history. Next year on this day, we're going to be celebrating. Today in history, on the 14th of July, 2025, we were celebrating our 100th episode. And it's 100 shows of inspiring you to wake up on a day-to-day basis. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And we try to level up. And we try to have very, very great conversations. And we always thank you for being part of us and making us part of your morning ritual on a day-to-day basis, Monday to Friday, taking such good care of you. We love it. And this is to 100 more episodes more. So I don't know how I'm feeling. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how to feel or what to feel. But I am happy though.
Yeah.
I am happy. It's been a long journey. I was listening to you earlier in the morning, and we've woken up on days where it didn't feel like
yay, man.
Yeah.
We've come here on days where I remember there was this one day you and I got rained on like no one else. after the chief, it was that Wednesday. I remember very clearly, but it was all worth it. You know, I remember the following day we came back and we asked and then I just went through the rain.
Oh yes, I think I've walked in the rain a couple of times. Refreshing to say the least, though. Like as much as it's not the ideal situation.
Yeah.
But walking in the rain has this like refreshing feeling for me.
Thanks,
For real. I think Mo, you got flu,
I
ne?
got flu.
Yeah.
And Mo was
I'm-
like,
I'm
TC,
good.
this is not, the rain of back in the day. What did you call it? Acid rain.
Yeah, man.
And you're
yeah,
like,
man,
the
acidic
rain of
rain.
now will make you sick.
Would you rain on me? Would you rain on me?
But it was so nice. I was like, oh
Nah, bro,
gosh,
like-
I got rained on it. I was refreshed. I was like, yo. And
Hey,
I would say
man.
it was a choice. I was like, it was a thing of, do I wait for the rain to stop or do I just go?
The
And I was
only-
like,
the
you know
only
what, let me
rain
go.
that's ideal for me
Oof.
is December the 25th and January the 1st. That's the only rain I can tolerate and purposefully and willingly like walk into.
Yeah, because of the
yeah,
climate.
it's
kinda-
nice and warm. It's
yeah.
not that kind cold, and yeah, it's not that harsh type of rain.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, on the 25th, of course, we're celebrating Christmas Day, and so I think it's ideal
Yeah.
for me. You
Yeah.
know, and then on the 1st of January, especially like after midnight, it's the New Year, man. It's literally a couple of minutes into the year or like an hour into the year. So
Yeah.
it would, like it's
Yeah, yeah.
You know, rain that comes with blessings, and so,
Exactly, man. Because
yeah, man.
I think these are some of the experiences that we need to share with you as of right now. La utlwa no re bua ka go nelwa ke dipula kere. You'll see, Baba. Episode
rain or
300, like,
sunshine.
you know, guys, I got a puncher on my way here. You know, the stories are going to be
Yes,
different.
Come on, come on.
You know,
no,
stories
absolutely, my
are
brother.
gonna be different.
Yeah, man,
Into
yeah,
you know, when I
yeah,
was
yeah.
driving here, and there's
Yeah.
something that interesting that I saw, and I had to stop, man,
Yeah.
and ask guys what is going
Or
on.
like take a video of it,
Yeah.
and report on it when we get here. From your lips to God's ears, more.
You
Like
understand,
I
man?
can't. I also look forward to the day where like all of our cars are parking outside here,
man.
and,
Yo.
and people are asking how what's happening here.
Yeah.
Cars are parking everything here.
Ke
What's the color?
diteste.
And then people are like, no, man, this is the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Yeah.
Brought to you by the Blink Network. So with that being
Course,
said,
man.
to what should by now, 100 episodes later,
Yeah.
be your absolute favorite rendezvous every weekday morning, Monday to Friday, between the hours of 7 and 10, taking such great care of you right here, only and exclusively on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blink Network. And you know that you're always spending some quality time with myself, the one and only MOOCEE Mr. And my name is Musi Mist, and I'm so happy and I'm excited to be in your presence and in your company on this lovely morning, the 14th of July, 2025, on a Monday morning, where we aim to have all-encompassing, compelling, and of course, thought-provoking conversations that are aimed at giving so much information and knowledge as well. And this is where we bring you industry professionals, who are well-versed in all the spaces there that they are involved in. You and I can keep on engaging like Zinzi has been doing, Katie and Uneli, and everyone who's always spending some time with us on our social media platforms using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. So that's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms. But you know that I always say that it needs not end there. You and I can also interact a bit more using our WhatsApp line, and the number to dial is 060-493-3226. So that's 060-493-3226. Comment, like, subscribe, and do the things that are necessary to be done so that you and I and TC and Mo and Mr. B and of course the rest of the Vooka Nation and the Vooka team can share our thoughts, our opinions, and everything else in between. Since day one, we've aimed to empower you. Today, on the 100th show, the 100th episode, our mission is absolutely stronger than ever, and we welcome you to our centennial breakfast, the 100 mornings of 100 conversations with 100 discussions and sharing our thoughts, and we've become one incredible community, and I can't wait for 100 more, man.
100 guests.
Yeah, man. 100 guests. I mean,
Probably more because
Yeah.
we sometimes have like 5. The one time we had like 5 in one
5 in a day.
in one morning, and I was like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I love the encouragement that they give us because they come, you know, they like, oh, really? I would be honored. The word
come.
honored.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Others, they also bless us with, their second or third visit.
Yes.
Again, repeated and recurring visit. And we would like to give a shout out to all of the guests that who have been with us and share that knowledge that they have been gathering all the years. Simami Kalane coming through saying, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, good morning, Vooka Nation. Sivugile futhi sfikile. Hashtag 100 episodes. 100. And then Tembi Mnui coming through again. Wow, Vooka team. Hashtag episode 100. What a big milestone. Congratulations, team. And hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, man.
Thank you, man.
You know, every time when I see Tembi, you know, yeah, I want to.
Zulu house
No. I have to embrace our culture, guys. We can't say always 100. Like, Renale Batswana on the chat, Renale Mazulu. We've got vendors, we've got Tongas, and we've got white people, you know, Indian and colored. So, of course, this one, we have to take it upon ourselves to say the number of episodes that we are in the languages.
I get it on Friday.
Amakulu, I think it's Zulu. Amakulu.
Shagalombini ne Shagalombini. Or what?
Shagalombini.
Mam Tembi, like.
No, Zinzi was the one who corrected
No,
us.
it was
Tembi.
It was Mam Tembi.
Serious.
It was Mam
I
Tembi.
remember.
We
she's
can.
the
It was
one.
Mam
Who was it?
Tembi.
It's not Zinzi. It was not Zinzi. It was Mam Tembi, man. So I remember, you know, I remember when she corrected me, Guti, no more. It's actually Ushaka, you know, Ushaka Lumbili. I forgot. Sorry. But I think 100. If you are Tswana, please share 100.
Yes, everybody, whatever in your native language, use your native language to, you know, let us know what is 100 in your native language.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, then join us and say congratulate us. You know, congratulate us in your native language using the number, and don't say 100. You like spell out what 100 is in your native language.
Yeah. So ngesizulu sizoshukuthi lesi siqephu sethu.
Amakhulu.
Amakhulu. And then kasisuthu man asekaholo. Like I'm always thinking that an episode ke kaholo, but kaholo is a chapter if I remember. So I think kasisuthu ke sekhetho, right? Because I know I listen to Lesedi FM a lot. So ke sekhetho sa legolo. Episode inana ya kajenu inana, right? And then kase venda kitsebi now
99 is
great.
Hi wait.
Amashuma seka lolunye. Amashuma seka lolunye. There was 99 on Friday.
Yeah. Amashumi shakalulunye nolunye. Right? That is the number, man. But yeah, man, 100 is a special number for us today. So we would like you to share, you know, how you say it in your own language, you know, please. Because some of us use na kasoto lekgetho. What? Yes, that is the number. 100th episode, we're still celebrating it today. Yeah. 25 minutes past 8, it is the time, and you're still watching the Vooka Breakfast Show, man. Celebrating episode 100. We would also like you to share your memories with us in terms of kickstarting this new week. How was your weekend? And before the break, I promised that we're going to be getting into our daily bread with is Today in History. I want to just, go quickly through it because we've got a most important topic that I want us to discuss today, which is the work-life balance and what is a healthy life balance, right? So I know that this one hits deep, man, because the moment your boss is calling, your kid is crying, and your dinner is burning all at once, that's when you realize that, hey, maybe my balance is off. So we're going to be sharing some tips and advices onto how to balance that healthy lifestyle of
I remember being in corporate and that being that being one of the scenarios I had to face. That time you've got month-end deadlines. That time you are not well. That time, hey, guningi, man, and then you just have burnout.
Yeah,
that is the worst.
Don't worry, fam. Don't panic, man, because today we are going.
Vooka fan.
But don't worry, fam. Do not panic, man, because today we're going to be unpacking that topic with you, and it's also going to be leaving you feeling inspired and in control of your life. But now, let me give you the best history that we have for today, because I know Mr. Nzimande Ohoropile with your history subject at school. Don't worry, Mr. Maimane is here to help you.
Mr. Maimane.
Right? So let's start off with the first one on some of the things that you never knew in your life. I am here to help you. And that's why I say, if you didn't know, Now you know, right? The first one in 1992, 386 BSD is released by Lynn Joliet and William Joliet, starting the open source operating system revolution. Linus Torvalds releases Linux soon afterwards. In 1992, Lynn and William Joliet released 386 BSD, the first free and open source Unix-like operating system designed for Intel's 80386 PCs. It broke away from proprietary Unix systems by offering publicly accessible code, sparking a wave of community-driven development. Shortly after, Linus Torvalds released Linux, a free kernel that, when combined with the GNU tools, formed a complete operating system, while 386 BSD laid the groundwork for projects like the FreeBSD and NetBSD. Linux rapid evolution and broader hardware support helped it become the dominant open source OS globally. Where's our producer getting these things, man? She's so smart, right? She's very, very smart.
Android is based off not this.
That's iOS.
Yeah. Okay, fun fact, Android is based on...
Yes, Android.
It's based on?
Linux.
Okay. That's interesting.
Oh, so Android is based on Linux. And that is where the 386 BSD was released by Lynn Joliet and William Joliet. Very interesting things. And then on the next one, 2008, The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Christian Bale and Heath Ledger, premieres in New York. Premiering today in 2008, July the 14th at AMC Luz, Lincoln Square in New York, The Dark Knight marked a cinematic milestone with its gritty realism and psychological depth. Directed by Christopher Nolan, the film featured Christian Bale as a Batman and Heath Ledger in a haunting Oscar-winning performance as the Joker. Ledger's portrayal, completed shortly before his untimely death, captivated audiences and critics alike, elevating the superhero genre into a profound exploration of chaos, morality, and heroism. The premiere was a star-studded event, but Ledger's absence cast a poignant shadow over the celebration.
And I remember how they said he got so deep into
the
the
character. Yeah. It affected him.
And it did affect him psychologically.
Yeah. I think on a Thursday, what we also maybe can talk about in relation to movie reviews is I don't say PTSD, but just the trauma, for lack of a better word, that goes into method acting. Because who's this? Jim Carrey is also someone who's done that.
Yes, Charlize also when she portrayed
Italian
Eileen Warnos, a female serial killer.
Is that where she was portrayed as like
yes, that was deep,
crazy, man.
Yeah. That performance
actually
for
didn't
me,
find
I
out
remember that
it was Charlize after a while because it looked nothing like her. You know, the facial prosthetics and all of that. It was crazy. So Jim Carrey and this guy, man, gone in 60 seconds.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is also someone who's gone through that. For one role, he got one of his tooth removed without tuning anesthesia. Yeah, just to get deep into that role and understand the pain that the person went through. So that was crazy. Method acting is crazy because people tend to even carry out those characters in their normal lives, and it's hard to remove yourself, detach and stuff like that. So I think the psychological journey that the actors go through is something that we can explore a bit more, man. It's crazy. But to this day, I don't care who says what, the real Batman will forever be
Christian Bale.
Bale, forever. Ben Affleck is,
I'm with you.
Sorry, I can't. That guy is, I don't like that guy. I don't know why.
Ben Affleck uses
they imagine, because they wanted, I remember when they were looking to see who they can cast as Batman. They looked at Robert Pattinson. Pattinson from Vampire Diaries. Is it? No, man, not Vampire Diaries.
From Twilight.
Twilight, sorry.
Look at me. His depiction was crap. I'm sorry. I'm a fan. I'm a fan, Robert. He's great. Robert is great, man. Harry Potter, he did the things in Goblet of Fire when he was younger. Twilight, obviously, he's great, but no.
It was a no from you for Batman.
No, Batman, he doesn't have...
and I mean, just his whole demeanor in general.
Yeah, it's just not...
I don't know. I don't connect it.
Because Batman is the hero that you hate to like. He's like an anti-hero, villainous sometimes, but like it doesn't work, man. I don't know.
Yeah. So in 2008,
So
The Dark Knight premiered in New York, man. Some of the interesting things that happened on that day. And this movie is still today, man. It's still good. So the last one that we have, the world's last telegram was sent as India's state-run telecommunications company ended its telegraph service. On July 14, 2013, India sent what was widely regarded as the world's last telegram, marking the end of a 160-year-old service that had once revolutionized communication across a subcontinent. Operated by Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, the BSNL, the telegraph system had dwindled to over 75 offices, serving a few thousand messages daily, far from its peak of 60 million telegrams a year. As a mobile phone and a digital messaging surged, the telegram became obsolete. Yet its final day drew crowds eager to send farewell messages, some as keepsakes, others as a tribute by a bygone era. Very interesting. That is all that we have in terms of
the only history. Telegram they know is the app. The messaging app.
Yeah. I mean, man. I mean, it's interesting on how people say you can get movies on Telegram. I didn't know that.
Apparently, there's a lot you can do on Telegram. I wouldn't know because I don't use the service, but in some countries, it's widely used. Yeah. I mean, it's like WeChat in China.
Yes.
Yeah. Very interesting. So let us look into the inventions made by South Africans and, anyone who's out there who has made it significant and still using some of their inventions until this day. So today's inventions is a GPS for a car. I don't know if it's there for a human, or it's called a GMS, a Geographical Mental System. Some of the people, they lack it.
Well, you get it, doesn't it?
But like that's I'm like, wait, what?
It's there.
What?
Search GMS.
I Sula. Wait,
GMS.
I'll see.
I'm telling you. So GPS for a car was invented today. In 1990, Mazda introduced the first ever GPS system for automotive navigational use, offered in the top of the line Unos Cosmos cars and only available in gadget-loving Japan. Mazda's navigation system was built into the actual car. So whatever navigation and the GPS system that you use today, just know that in 1990 it was invented by Mazda. Right, very interesting things right there. And just to move on quickly. Today it is the 195th day of the year, 196 in leap years, and we are left with 170 days left. And
it's the 190?
195th.
Fifth?
Yeah.
Not 6th?
Nope.
Okay.
In leap year.
Gregorian. Yeah, it would be the 196th. Okay.
Yeah, and then we are left with 23 weeks remaining.
Okay.
Hambile. Right.
Was that December?
I sugar. Yeah.
100 episodes.
Right. Of course, looking into the national day that we're celebrating for today, and I don't think it plays a very significant role for us. But today is a National Nude Day, right? Celebrated annually on July 14th. National Nude Day is a light-hearted yet meaningful observance that promotes body positivity, self-acceptance, and freedom from societal norms surrounding clothing. Originating from a humorous challenge on a New Zealand talk show, it evolved into a global celebration embraced by naturists and body positive communities. While some mark the day with nude yoga, art, or beach outings, others simply enjoy the comfort of being unclothed at home. The day encourages respectful participation and reminds us that the human body in all its diversity deserves appreciation without shame. Let's celebrate it, guys.
Send someone a nude and get their week started on a positive note.
No, the thing is with yoga, I know the Kama Sutra. Is it the Kama Sutra?
Nope.
What is it?
Yoga and Kama Sutra are two
But
okay, Kama Sutra, what is Kama Sutra?
We're
asking you.
That's the thing. Kama Sutra is like an Indian, practice where they...
but it's sensuality, not sexuality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sensuality.
Yes.
But more sensual.
Uses the practice of yoga.
I mean,
we
it depends
use
on the level, I guess.
It's hardcore.
But
You've seen those books, you would know.
I have. But nude yoga and Kama Sutra, two different things. More life things.
Because when you're in the room, you are doing the but in a very
Hey, but
in a very positive way. Man.
Let's move on.
We are celebrating nude day.
I repel you.
You are celebrating. I'm thinking of those nude beaches somewhere in Europe.
Ooh,
Like,
Nkosi yami. I'd actually love to visit one.
And
I'd like to go to one. I know that there was one in South Africa, but I don't
yeah, but it was banned
Yeah.
because they failed in South Africa. And very decent.
I mean, we already have Mihlanga, we have
South Africa.
our nude
So,
culture,
thanks.
the culture that practices nudity, Well, I won't say it's nudity, it's culture.
Ngiyazibuza ukuthi
culture.
kahle kahle why as South
Memulo.
Africans y'all are so weird towards as Africans, y'all are
Me
weird
too.
towards nudity, but
No.
to be honest, we okay. All you have to do is ubheka ushaka ilembe to know ukuthi it's not clothing was never something that it's not something, and
Yeah, but
our
it is
bodies were
now.
never something that we
They
were. But
are
then
now, unfortunately, now they
Bad,
are.
man.
Thanks. It's not
The internet has messed up
normalcy.
everything.
Actually,
there's always a weird guy.
colonization, westernization, it has ruined us.
Yeah, there's
Because
always that weird guy.
beningagqoki guys, beningagqoki. How? And I don't know why suddenly like emarenki the Zulu taxi driver we like like dude like say at the end of the day and all that, and then
That's
you
the
come
thing.
in and shame people for nude. No man, that was for me like the most stupid, and then that coming from Amazulu. Hi guys.
I mean, that's the thing.
Ngihlazile lapho.
That is the thing, when you promote things like your fashion, that is where things like celebrating nudity, they're going to be seen as voodoo, because now we are celebrating fashion, dog. Like, we have Deben July, Baba, Deben July ungagqokanga. Yabanda Ju. Because some of the areas in the zone, if you're in the southern hemisphere, Baba, nudity never. Kabanga celebrating Yabanda manje. How many degrees? 7 degrees, and doing all of those things. But we respect people who celebrate, because it has a very huge message behind it. Because it's not only celebrating nudity, but it's all about embracing body positive communities, right? And with your beach outings, others enjoy the comfort of being unclothed at home.
It's very liberating.
Yeah, it is.
Like those people who go to bed nude, I'm never going to understand.
And then Usaba Guti, when there's an intruder, like you will confuse the intruder at least, like surprise!
It's not even about that, but no man, it's just I don't know.
Man.
It's
Show
weird
us what
for
you
me.
got.
It's weird for me. That thing. There's this episode in is it not Friends? What's the other one? How I Met Your Mother. This one guy on this episode. So he's not like the greatest guy when it comes to ladies.
Yes.
I'm not a funny one.
Yeah.
But look, he does get dates here and there. So what he does on these dates, he'll go on the date and then they go back either to his place, or mostly it happens that they go back to the ladies'
This is
place.
Barney.
No, not Barney Stinson. Barney Stinson is a legend. And to actually find out that guy is
He's
gay,
gay.
in real life, that was crazy for me.
Okay.
That was crazy. I'll get into that one a bit later on, or on some other day. But so this guy will go back to the ladies' place and they'll be hanging out, just a nightcap or whatever. Yeah, how's it going? Okay, cool. And then the lady will say, let me quickly go to the bathroom or to the bedroom.
Let me.
And then she'll go in there. And then when she comes back, so they call it the naked man.
Oh yeah.
So when the lady comes back, he's naked.
You're sitting like
No, it's just standing there, chief. He'll just pose and stand like this, like the thinking man. The thinking man, the statue of the thinking man.
Yes.
He just and have his hands on, and then the ladies will be like, "Chief, what are you doing?" And then
Surprise!
Like, they make it a funny moment.
Yeah.
It's a funny moment. Like
It's
and
an
it,
icebreaker.
it gets him in between the sheets.
Oh wow.
Like almost every time.
Wow.
And Bonnie hears about this and tries, obviously being Bonnie, and he tries it himself. So it was a funny thing for me, man. Yeah.
So very interesting, man. Before we go into celebrity birthdays, we are also still celebrating our 100th episode, and there are some of the comments that I want to go through. Before the celebrity, we are the first big celebrity, that is under lying
celebrated.
right here, right here, man. So, let me go back to Thembi Mncii saying, isiqephu si sekhulu. Isiqephu sikhulu, right? Because that's why I said 100 ka Sesotho ke lekgolo.
Don't judge, I googled.
Isiqendu. Hate ke isiqendu sekhulu. Isiqendu sekhulu. Siyanamukela kulehlelo lwethu levuka isiqendu sikhulu, right? Yeah. So isiqephu esikhulu, isiqendu sekhulu in Xhosa, right? And then Thembi Mncii coming through again saying hashtag happy Monday, take care again, and to you, take care, guys. To everyone out there, please take care. It is at the beginning of the week, and we hope to share those wonderful and motivational moments with you. Sakane B comes through saying, good morning, Vooka Nation and Best Breakfast Team. Congratulations on your 100th episode. Wishing you many more to come. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show.
I want to hear you read e-comment Gatsakani, and you better read it correctly. That's Tsonga.
Before, man, we have Dumsani Nkosi right there. Hashtag amavuka amahle ngesiqephu esikhulu. Siyabonga. Khulani njalo sokhula sikhokhobe slingani no khokho bethu. We understand. Siyabonga. Bafethu for those wonderful wishes and your love. We appreciate it very, very, very much. So, Tsakani B gave me a task. You know what, Tsakani? I know 12 official South African languages.
I want to hear.
12. There's a 12th one, of course.
So,
so it reads as follow. Xiphemu xa dzana xi xiyimo xa le henhla. Right? Xiphemu xa dzana xi xiyimo xa le henhla. Shashihimo, guys. I know Tsonga. Come on, man. I grew up with Tsonga people. What do you know, man? I had a friend called Zonini.
Oh my God.
Tony, okay. His name was Antonio.
Oh, we can see the lies.
But okay, let's
lying unprovoked now.
Let's Akani judge if she's listening. So this is reasons for Xiphemu xa dzana xa xiyimo xa le henhla. That is a 100th episode in Tsonga. Hope you were able to read it. Yes, I read it. It's 100th episode in Chitsonga. Thank you so much for wishing us. And hey, every time when I think of Isichonga, man, obrigado. Obrigado. But thank you so much. Xiphemu xa dzana xa xiyimo xa le henhla. Ilena mudzimu wa rona.
Let's move on. It's fine. Let's move on to Papa. Let's move on to
where is the diluted shangani keketse utamato? Azositshela since yena he's a diluted shangani.
Right. So going back to some of the celebrity birthdays that we have, man. On the first one, we have Conor McGregor. I never lose. Even if I lose, nigga follows my move. Right. That was the line from Ricky Rick, man. This man never loses. That man was raha, that man. Born in 1988, July 14th, has turned 37 years old. Interesting fact about Conor, he became the most famous name in the sport after winning an Ultimate Fighting Championship known as UFC titles in 2 different weight classes in 2015 up until 2016. The Irish MMA fighter who became the UFC featherweight champion in December 2015 after knocking out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, setting the record for the fastest championship victory in history of the UFC. He also became the first UFC double champion in 2016 after beating Eddie Alvarez in the lightweight division. Very huge happy birthday shout out to Conor McGregor. And then the next one is Jane Lynch, born in 1960, turning 65 years old. Interesting fact, Lynch has received numerous accolades, including 1 Golden Globe, 5 Primetime Emmys, and 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards. Actress who holds role as a cheerleading coach, Sue Sylvester in Glee, and her an Emmy Award as well as People's Choice Award for favorite TV comedy actress. A film credits include The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Role Models, Another Cinderella Story, and Talladega Nights.
Who's that?
Lynch. Jane Lynch.
Jane Lynch.
Oh, I know this lady from. She's funny.
Yeah.
From what's this? Glee. From Glee.
Yes.
She's the coach in Glee. The what's this? The cheerleading coach. Yeah, she's very funny. This lady.
Yeah,
She's
the last one we have is Lonely Love, born in 1971 and turning 54 years old. Interesting fact about her: 2-time Emmy, 2-time NAACP Image, and 3-time Gracia Award-winning host, comedian, actress, author, and philanthropist. American stand-up comedian, best known for her witty commentary on the VH1 nostalgia series I Love the 80s. In 2013, she became host of the Fox Talk show The Real. Some of the very interesting birthdays that we have. That's all. If you happen to know anyone who is growing up today, please let us know by sending them a special shout out on the comment section. Before I do that, on our comment section, I see right there Zinzi coming through, man, saying, Mo, for a moment I thought you were speaking Mandarin.
Shishini.
Oh,
Nkosi yami, no. Ubatla misho tla ulela re. Mo don't.
Mandarin. And then Sakani comes through, man, and say, well done, Mo. I'll give you A for effort. Come on, guys.
You almost butchered it.
Yeah, man. But you know, it's A. Guys, you know, I've done well. It's the power of hard work. You know, for almost 100 episodes, I've been training to say words in Shangaan, in Chitsonga, in you know, in Vender. Understand? So I'm willing to learn all of those languages, even Mandarin, man. I know how to say something in Mandarin.
Do you know what you're saying?
But you don't know any.
So, okay, I'm going to say, hello, how are you doing today? I hope that you have a good day, right? Shishini,
oh my word, I don't believe
you. Just discrediting
that just sounds
me.
like words.
You're just discrediting me for something that you don't even understand.
It doesn't matter. As much as I don't understand, but I know it's lies.
But don't worry, we have a French speaker. She's coming tomorrow. You know. Croissant.
Oh wow, that's the only thing you know in French.
The one I know, and someone I'm about to talk about now. He learned French. He's been taking French for quite some time. I think for the last 3 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And he went to Mauritius for a couple of months. 2 years ago, he left in August of 23. Came back January of 24.
Yeah.
February. February. Yeah, just after March, month in February, beginning of March of 2024. And one of the things that he taught me, like a loose way of saying, of greeting, is salut. Salut. Yeah, as opposed to bonjour.
Bonjour,
salut is like one of the ways that you can.
Salut.
Yeah.
Because I also learned Spanish. Because in Spanish is hola.
I'll
Okay, I'm gonna say Cheba. I know these are the words that I know to Spanish. It's hi, how are you? And I'm learning Spanish. It's hola, ¿cómo está? Aprendiendo española.
Okay.
Google it. You'll remember me.
Okay.
Google it right now.
I don't believe you.
Come on, man. I speak over 27.
Oh, please. That's some belief.
Yeah, I mean, even if you can say something in China, A1, I'm speaking the language.
In China, Mandarin, you mean?
If I can say Hinda,
Mandarin?
I know how to speak Venda. Hinda, Barami, Zikon.
Hayi, zwikhona yini?
But yeah, man, celebrating birthdays. That's all we're going to end it right
no, we
there.
do. We do. We do have like birthdays.
Okay.
Someone who's very cool. Someone who's always, well, not always hanging out with us, but I know he does catch up when he has the chance. And someone we've all met. I don't know if you guys can think of him. He was supposed to come through to the Rand show, but he came through to 250 on Cedar.
Hector.
No. Hector's birthday passed, man.
Wait, now what's his name? The other one.
Bohosi. Celtic, Marcelo. Man.
Celtic is celebrating his,
shout out,
his
man.
birthday, man.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
just sent me something, actually.
Yeah.
I keep so I think he was reminding me that it's his birthday today. You know.
Oh yeah, man. Let me save this picture, man, so that we can see it right
no,
there.
that's not him. That's not him.
Oh, it's not him.
No. But
But
yes,
who
that's
make
something
it?
else. Yeah. Please check
Make it. How can you
the
forget?
link. The link that's
Oh,
there.
you're terrible.
I remember when
I am.
after showing this, he was like, "Ish Musi man, I man aka was man."
Yeah,
Ish.
there we go, man. On our screen
Araka
right there.
was
That
quite
is
grand.
Hey,
That
you
is
see it
Bogosi
now.
right there, man.
I think it should come up now on your
Oh, what a
screen.
rematch has poor.
Exactly.
He wants to go back in the
You
ring
are-
with the English.
He was like, "Hey man, Musi man,
Yeah.
hey man, I didn't say the right thing." No, man, you actually,
bruh,
you're
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
we wouldn't have posted it if it was bad. you know.
Yeah.
We don't want to expose people like that. But yeah, I don't know if you can help them, Mr. B. Very
And I'm
quickly.
a Bogosi, guys. Whoever's watching right there, man.
I don't.
you
I'm
know.
not sure. I'm not sure if they did.
Yeah,
but
man.
yeah,
But happy
Bogosi
birthday to him,
Is
man.
is
Happy, happy,
celebrating
happy, happy.
his birthday today, and he started off his birth celebrating like last week Thursday.
Yo,
So apparently,
Nice. Abdodlo. Abdodlo.
you know, so
Big
that's
Nandi, man.
that's him there on your screens as you are seeing right now.
Ah,
We were
man.
out at
Good
250
man,
on
man.
Cedar,
Good
man.
man.
And it was such cool vibes having him there. He was enjoying. Hey, you know what he ended up doing?
Ah.
Remember, Mo? I don't know, guys. Can we have an interview with
For the
you?
interview.
That's so funny.
He became
It was
a
so
Vooka
funny.
member for
He
a
was a
second.
Vooka. Look, man, he was there.
I
don't
love
know,
the
Subhasama,
Vooka
do you want this
Nation,
one?
man.
Do you want this one? I'll call you. Yeah, no, I'll call this lady, man. But that was a cool one. And then this one was actually the person that I was talking about who learned French and stuff like that. And this is someone who is going to come hopefully in a couple of weeks very soon for personal finance on a Tuesday
nice.
morning. Kagiso Ulebogang Maine. I'm sure you can see him on your screens right now.
Ntate Maine.
Yes.
Sunday.
Yeah, man. Kagiso was celebrating his birthday last week, Tuesday. He's also a Cancerian. Like I mentioned, that I know quite a few Cancerians who are celebrating their birthdays this month. And Kagiso is one of them. And a very good friend of mine. We've been friends for over 10 years now. We've known each other for the longest of times. And yeah, we were hanging out with him on his birthday later in the evening on that day, on Tuesday. And it was a good one, man. So to you, Poka Prague, I hope you had an amazing, amazing birthday. And wish you many more, Mfetu. Yeah, man.
Yeah, interesting, man. For anyone who is celebrating their birthday, man, let us help you to make it special. But this is what I have for everyone who is a group. Yeah.
Hip, hip, hooray!
Hooray.
Hooray! Hey, man, such cool vibes. You know that on a day-to-day basis, we always try to give you words that are aimed at improving both yours and our day-to-day spoken languages, and of course, ultimately, our vocabularies. And today is no exception whatsoever. On the 14th of July, 2025, the word for today is impetus.
Oh, wow.
I chose the word impetus today, and this word is a noun. And how you spell the word impetus is as follows. I-M-P-E-T-U-S. That's I-M-P-E-T-U-S. And the meaning or the definition of the word impetus is the force or energy with which a body moves. The force or energy with which a body moves. Or it can also be something that makes a process or activity happen more quickly.
Okay.
It is something that makes a process or activity happen more rapidly or quickly. And how you can use this word in a sentence is as follows. Let the rising sun over Soweto be the impetus you need this Monday to tackle your goals with renewed energy. What will be your driving force today? What will be your driving force today? The definition of, or a sentence example actually, for the word impetus is as follows. Let the rising sun over Soweto be the impetus you need this Monday to tackle your goals with renewed energy. What will be your driving force today? And some similar words to the word impetus is motivation, stimulus, incitement, incentive, inducement, inspiration, and of course, urging. Similar words to this word, to the word impetus are motivation, stimulus, incitement, incentive, inducement, inspiration, and urging. So talk to me, Wanakohai. How would you use this word in a sentence? Who wants to go first? TC? Impetus. I mean, you were spelling it as I was saying it as well.
I think I can go first
sure,
because it makes sense. Because I just love that it also has a question. You know, that what will be your driving force today? So I think my driving force for today is the appreciation of the Vooka Nation for today is my impetus that I need for this day, that I needed actually for this day. So the appreciation that they have been giving us, the audience, thank you so much, guys, is my impetus, for driving my day today.
Oh, nice. Very cool stuff. Cool stuff. TC? I mean, you clearly knew this word already, so how would you use it?
I know how to spell it. Okay, well...
Spelling bee.
I suga. Hey, Wenda. My daily impetus is the Vooka Breakfast Show.
I see. I mean... Being
Simple,
the daily dose of positivity, accompanied by an energetic start to the day. So, we would absolutely love to hear how you would use the word impetus in a sentence. What is your driving force for today? As we, as the Vooka Breakfast Show, are celebrating 100 episodes, and of course, they're looking forward to 100 more. So, talk to us. How would you use this word in a sentence? Because these words, like I said a second ago, are aimed at improving our day-to-day spoken languages, and of course, ultimately, our vocabularies. Use these words, man. When you walk into a space, into a group of people, just say,
confusing your friends.
Bro, come on, man. Can't be coming up with words here and not using them. Man. I can't be a blather guy. I can't be bloviating.
Yes.
I can't be a vacuous individual.
Yes.
I can't be executing oculism. Do you get what I'm trying to say? See what I did there? Come on, man. So I would love to hear your thoughts, your opinions, and of course, everything else in between. The time right about now is 8:58. That's 2 minutes before the hour 9 o'clock on the 14th of July, a Monday morning, 2025. Can't wait to hear from you. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So right now we're going to take a short break, and after the break, we are going to be in conversation with Brian Mahobe. He is here in a studio for that Monday motivation. So it is a conversation that you do not want to miss. So let us not waste any of his time. And after the break, please stay tuned for this wonderful conversation we're about to have with him. So please stay tuned.
Hey family.
Hi.
My name is Tisiga Mazibugo Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
My name is Musi Mist.
My name is Ketue Ketumguni
on the Vooka
Breakfast Show.
Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various experts from different fields.
We're going to take care of you and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show brought to you by the Blink-On Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there.
1 minute after 9 o'clock, it is the time and you're still watching the Vooka Breakfast Show. Your energetic start to the day, accompanied by that daily dose of positivity. Still with me, Moeketi Maimane, with TC and Musi Mr. right here, man. Still having those wonderful conversations that we would like you to jump on. As I promised that we're going to be having Mr. Brian, but because Mr. Khaonga Lelwe is online, we needed to start with him first, as Brian is going to be with us in studio, which is, of course, an exclusive one. So I just want to confirm with Mr. Khaonga Lelwe Tiro, if you can hear me. Good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning? Yes, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you, sir. So we can't see you right now. We can hear you, but we can't see you. How about now? Yeah, we're still receiving the black screen. Still waiting for your video signal. Yes.
No.
Okay. While Mr. Khaonga Lelwe is, turning his, while he's turning his, camera on, we're going to go through onto what does he do. So Mr. Khaonga Lelwe Tiro is an author, journalist, and a communication professional whose career includes roles at Reuters, News 24, Tribute, Business Day, the Sunday Times, the City Press, the Sunday World, the New Age and Business Report, and the Star. He holds a Master of Arts in Journalism and Media Studies from the University of the Witwatersrand, a postgraduate diploma in management from the University of Cape Town, and a Bachelor of Arts in English Literature from Andrews University in Michigan. So his latest book, Eric Molobi, a legacy of a resolute leadership, explores the life of Eric Molobi, a business leader, economic transformation champion, and a former Robben Island prisoner who spent time with Nelson Mandela during South Africa's liberation struggle. It follows his debut parcel of death. The biography of Abraham Tiro, which tells the story of a late uncle and a late proponent of a black consciousness. That is a conversation that we're going to be into right here when you speak about book review. So the latest book of Mr. Khaonga Lelwe is Eric Molobi. So can't wait to get in a conversation in terms of that. All you need to do is to stay with us on our social media platforms by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. All right, so while we are still fixing and trying to find Mr. Khaonga Lelwe's video signal, let us take a short break and then we'll come back. Surely he is going to be with us. All right, as we welcome you back on our wonderful, energetic start to the day, the Vooka Breakfast Show. So let us get deep into it right now. So, Mr. Khaongalelwe, can you hear me? Okay, so right now I can't hear him when he speaks, but I can see when he's talking. So just wanted the signal. Oh. How about now, Mr. Khaongalelwe? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. The beauties and the greatness of live broadcasting. Good morning, Mr. Khaongalelwe Tiro and Khaongalelwe Tiro. I need to get that correct. And thank you for spending some time with us and taking your time to, share a bit more about yourself. Right now, you're in conversation with myself, Musimist, OTC Gamazibugo Shabalala right next to me, and of course the one and only Mueketi Maimani. And this is the Vooka Breakfast Show. Welcome.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to your listeners and viewers here.
Yes, sir. So let's get to TC. You wanna go first?
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, helping us start the week by reflecting on the power of principled leadership, economic transformation, and the written word as a vessel for legacy. So, Mr. Khaongalelwe Tiro, you've written about two towering figures, your uncle Unkgopotse Tiro, and of course now you've written about Eric Molobi. What drew you to Eric's story in particular?
Oh, okay. No, well, Eric's story is actually quite an interesting story and, very inspirational in many ways, particularly because, the name Eric Molobi, it is not a name that would, ring a bell with a lot of people. But if you look at him, his contribution, to not only the liberation struggle, but also to South Africa post, the apartheid period was quite immense. But he was not out there. He did not seek glorification. And I thought that was actually quite inspirational. If you look at the kind of impact that he actually had, but also. Also what would have drawn me into Eric's story is that Eric would have been an associate of my late uncle Unkgopotse Tiro. So it is a name that as people narrate the story of Unkgopotse, the name would regularly come up. So I took an interest and started looking at who this Eric Molobi is and what kind of impact and contribution he would have had.
All right, lovely. I know that with your uncle, he was quite a significant figure, as well as with Eric. So, Eric is described as a resolute leader. And in your research and writing, what do you think made his leadership different or enduring?
Yeah, I think what made it enduring would be the kind of impact that he had. But I think what is particularly interesting as well about him is when you research him and you begin to understand and appreciate the kind of influence, for instance, he would have had vis-a-vis his public profile. There's a complete a mismatch. But a whole lot of people vouch to the kind of impact and influence that Eric would have had. There are very significant highlights in terms of what kind of impact his leadership would have. But what makes it particularly enduring as well is the fact that Eric, particularly say after the apartheid period, when there was a stampede to go into government by many activists, Eric decided to continue with the work that he had been seized with, from the mid-80s, which was basically, community projects, a project that, projects that actually dealt with poverty and were targeted at the poorest of the poor. When BEA was introduced, what Eric did was he went into BEE, but for charitable causes, to all intents and purposes, because what was happening at the time is that they had been running an institution called Kagiso Trust that had been doing community projects and giving bursaries to students, to black students in particular, to further their studies on tertiary institutions. And when the transition came, most of the donors who would have been, from, Europe, the European communities, that, South Africa is now changing. Most of our relations would now be on government to government basis. So funding was drying up, for the NGO sector. And that's when Eric said, no, the work that we're doing is so important that we cannot just leave it. And that's when they started Kagiso Investment Trust, which, got involved in most of, your early BEE deals. And some of those deals that they did actually at the instance and initiative of Eric, to this day are still actually sustaining Kagiso Trust, which is, a charitable organization. And it is still doing quite important work in our communities in the sectors of education and poverty alleviation in the most far-flung areas of South Africa.
Ah, man, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love that you mentioned the BEE his involvement, or how he used BEE and in his community work, and obviously his social empowerment of the nation. So speaking still on that note, what can today's young professionals and aspiring entrepreneurs learn from Mulobe's approach to economic transformation and empowerment?
Yeah, no, in fact, if you look at his approach, towards a black economic empowerment, is that in many ways, in fact, Eric and the model that they adopted at Kagiso Investment Trust, who say it pioneered what subsequently came to be known as broad-based black economic empowerment, which was a realization that you cannot, given the type of society that we live in and the extent of exclusion and disadvantage, you need to try and ensure as much as possible that as you rise up, you take along as many people as possible. Yeah.
I love that, because one thing that I do know is inclusivity encourages and promotes community. And we all know how, as a community, we need to work together to a greater goal, to empowering each other, and of course, making a difference. And obviously, for impact purposes, it's, the more there are of us involved and working towards this goal, the better and bigger the impact. So both your books are about legacy, something that here at the Vooka Breakfast Show we are about creating. How do you see your role as a writer in preserving and amplifying South African history in legacy, in the legacy of books?
Yeah, no. I think this is very important work, because if we're going to inspire, the upcoming generation, we need to bring to the fore stories of the likes of your Eric Mulobe, and the kind of contributions that to our society. And I mean, like I said, his story is particularly inspirational because he was a person that was we would say probably in the background, but he had the kind of impact that people hardly appreciate and understand.
Yeah, it's very interesting, man. And I love how you want to go deep into the story of Eric Molobi, but I want to change gears for a second here, Mr. Tiro, and want to go into the space of broadcasting and journalism. Because reading your bio, I found it very, very interesting, and I think it aligns quite a bit with what we do here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So, just quickly to find out what initially drew you when as to the space of journalism, because I mean you've worked with quite a few publications and newsrooms, from News 24 to Business Day, Sunday Times, and the like. So what initially was the first thing or the thing that drew you to the space of journalism and broadcasting?
Yeah, no, well, I've always, had an interest in initially in reading before even the writing, and I got to a point where I realized that actually journalism it's a very important institution of society, which can make a contribution in many ways, whether in elevating the consciousness of our people, or in educating people in general. So that is a career that I found particularly appealing, because I was particularly interested in writing and reading.
Yeah, and I see. I mean, based on the level of education that you've had, it's been so diverse, and the journey has been such a great one, from English literature in Michigan, and of course doing your postgrad diploma right here in our homeland of South Africa. How have these varied academic experiences shaped your approach, especially when it comes to storytelling and delving into South African stories, especially the ones that might have been forgotten, like you mentioned earlier, that might not necessarily be that well known, in terms of their contributions in our history, especially as the Black society. So how have these different journeys of education that you've embarked on over the years helped you become a much better storyteller, or shape and form your storytelling?
Yeah, I think my undergrad studies would have been particularly useful in a sense that, obviously I majored in English with an emphasis in literature, so, I read a whole lot of stories, fiction, and I think that would have, shaped, the little skills that I would have in storytelling. But yeah, subsequent to that, the more advanced education would have been more useful. For instance, most of my journalism would have been in the financial journalism field. So my more advanced studies would have been, more useful in equipping me in terms of understanding, the technicalities of the field that I had taken particular interest in, which is financial journalism, which I still think it is a very important section of the broader journalism field, because it is part of the biggest challenge that I guess we as a society now, it's actually in the economic field. The political battle might to some extent have been won, but as Black people in particular, we still need to make progress economically, and that's why we would need to be particularly familiar with how the economy and the business sector in general works. So my more advanced qualifications would have been particularly useful in that respect.
Very interesting, TC. Very interesting, especially when you touch on, financial literacy and financial education. I also agree with you completely, particularly when it comes to the Black society. I think we really, really need to level up and have a high-functioning level of literacy and education when it comes to economic empowerment specifically, and financial wellness. Financial discipline. I love that so much, and I look forward to some some of the writings that you will come up with when it comes to that, man. It should be an interesting read, definitely.
Exactly, Musi. I think in this time where, in a time right now where, a lot of we see a lot of political cynicism, there is a message here, right?
Yeah.
And I want to know from Mr. Ntiro, what message does Mulobe's life offer to emerging leaders in business or civil society, in a time where we are seeing, a lot of political cynicism?
Yeah, I think the magic of Eric's story as well, which I haven't mentioned, so far, is that Eric led with integrity. People that interacted with him would tell you that the issue of ethics and uprightness, were at the forefront of the issues that he would have been particularly concerned about. I mean. And I think that is why he was such a trusted a leader and sought out leader. I mean, most of the deals that Kagiso Investment Trust would have done in the early years would have been because a whole lot of people had belief and trust in Eric, his integrity and ethics, and those were actually quite significant. I mean, you will see also testimonies if you were to read the biography of Eric. But also, I think the other thing that stood out about him was his social consciousness and a clear awareness of what needed to be done in order to transform South African society in a meaningful way. I mean, one of his greatest contribution, in fact, that clearly when you read his story, is the kind of impact in terms of creating a mass of black leadership. I mean, some of the people that he gave a break, subsequently became very significant business leaders. And Eric took a chance on them, At the time, people would have said, I mean, a particular example would be, say, the example of Roger Jardine, that Eric recruited and made a CEO of Kagiso Media, and there was serious resistance from some of the key institutional shareholders in Kagiso Media to say that no, but this man is not known in the markets, and he's not adequately experienced. And Eric's response was, no black people are known in the markets, and he gave him an opportunity and he thrived. I mean, he ended up being the chairman of First Rand. You've got your Fanititis, who's a CEO of Investec, and those are people that Eric gave a chance and a break,
One thing that I've picked up about Eric is that he's been somebody who, in history, been ambitious and, of course, been of service to many people. And many people struggle to balance ambition with service. So how, in your opinion, did Mulobe manage that? And how can we learn how to do the same?
I think he managed it very well. In fact, I think he was more biased towards service to more than even personal advancement. Like for instance, with the example that I gave you of many of his peers. I mean, with the kind of credentials that he had. I mean, Eric would have been from Robben Island. He served time with Nelson Mandela. He came out of prison. Interestingly, Eric would have been a member of the First National Executive. He was, I have it on good authority that he was approached, to be a cabinet minister in 1994, but he decided not to go into cabinet and to continue doing what he was doing, which was, essentially a charitable work, So, I think he was more predisposed towards service than advancing, his own personal ambitions. And there are other, indicators, I think, that would back up what I'm saying. I mean, for instance, you know, you look at Eric, say for instance, in the 80s when he came out of Robben Island. He came out of Robben Island in 1981. He was very instrumental in the process that then subsequently set up, you know, the United Democratic Front. But he was never in his national executive because to him positions did not quite matter. But he was actually very influential in the UDF, to the extent that when the UDF was set up, I mean, at its first conference in Port Elizabeth, Eric was the leader who was tasked with leading, you know, the thinking around the strategic and tactical, you know, positioning of the UDF. He delivered, you know, a paper on strategy and tactics, on how, you know, the UDF needs to execute its strategy and tactics. But he never sat in the national executive of the UDF. Come 1990, the ANC gets unbanned. Eric, with all his credentials, he was never actually in the National Executive Committee of the ANC because he never availed himself. Even when he was approached, you know, I have an anecdote in the book that, you know, there was a time when, you know, a coterie of ANC activists felt that, you know, Eric would have been the most appropriate person to be the Secretary General. He said no, you know, he just declined, you know, he just dismissed them. He did not want to, and he was never actually in the NEC, but he would have easily walked into that NEC. He would have walked into but yeah, you know, he never you know, envisaged those roles for himself. Yeah.
I love Eric's story, and it's a powerful one. It's really one that as I listen, has shaped, you know, the leadership and the future of us, of South Africa as a country. And I mean, he chose service over comfort, and that's the mark of a true visionary. So in closing, as we're about to close off this interview with you, Mr. Tiro, to someone listening right now who's unsure about their purpose or their path, what is your Monday motivation message to them, inspired, of course, by Eric Molobi's life?
Well, I think, you know, at the end of the day, I believe that, you know, we need as individuals, you know, to have a deeply ingrained, you know, a social consciousness to always be sensitive, you know, to the kind of society that we live in. I mean, and you know, always be on the lookout in terms of, you know, the kind of contribution that we can help, that we can make in advancing others. I mean, the levels of unemployment, the levels of poverty in South Africa are really, you know, tragic, you know, and it is incumbent on all of us, you know, not just leaders. And oftentimes people seem to be think or believe that, you know, only government has a contribution to make. But I think even in our own individual capacities, in very, you know, little ways that we should be, you know, striving to you know, to make an impact on society. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Sorry about that, TC. You know, I think because you, TC, just mentioned that you're a bit drawn to Eric's story a bit more. I think because we've run out of time, I think this begs that you need to come to the station so that we can have a slightly more in-depth and longer conversation, you know, that delves deeper into some of these stories, especially one that I think would be more drawn to and gravitate towards, which is the story of your uncle, Abraham Tiro, right? The biography that you wrote on him and about him, particularly as a proponent, you know, leader, especially when it comes to the Black consciousness, because I really resonate with the BCM, the Black consciousness movement and how it played a role, you know, during the struggle of the Black people in South Africa in the apartheid era. So I think this begs us that you need to come to the story so that we can delve a bit deeper into these conversations. But it would have been lovely to, you know, get into the story of Parcel of Death, the biography that you wrote, especially as someone who is so close to you, or who was so close to you, and you've been named after him, of course. I think it would have been a great one. But with that being said, we really appreciate you, Onkgopotse, and we can't wait for you to join us again and have a bit more in-depth conversation.
No, no, no. I would definitely be open to that. Yeah,
So where can we find your book, and where can people connect with you?
Both books are available on Take a Lot. People can reach me on my socials. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm also able to assist with that. But even most bookstores, they say you're exclusive and stuff. They're able to get you copies. Some of them would have copies. In the instances where they do not have copies readily available, they're able to order for you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this powerful conversation. What a powerful way to start the week, Vooka Nation. A huge thank you to Gaongalelwe Tiro for taking us deep into the legacy of Eric Molobi, a man who proved that leadership is less about position and more about purpose. So as you go deeper and go about your Monday, ask yourself, what kind of legacy are you building? Because like Molobi, we all have the power to influence change where we are right now in our lives. So grab yourself a copy of Eric Molobi, A Legacy of Resolute Leadership, and let this book be a fuel to your mission, or should I use the word an impetus to your mission today as you go about this motivational Monday. And of course, you can always go back to this interview on our channel by going to the Vooka clips and leave us a comment with your biggest takeaway from this interview. And don't forget to share this with someone who needs that push to lead with integrity. Use the hashtag Vooka Legacy Talks to join the conversation, and let's all work towards building a future that is rooted in purpose, one story at a time. Thank you, Mr. Gaongalelwe Tiro, and we really look forward to having another conversation with you on your other book, Parcel of Death, about your uncle Onkgopotse Tiro, somebody who has a whole school named after him in my township of Tepisong. And of course, we want to know more about this visionary who has influenced the Black consciousness movement. Thank you, Vooka Nation, on this beautiful Monday. Stay tuned as we are about to get more into insightful and meaningful conversations when we come back from the break.
Hey family.
Hi.
My name is Tisiga Mazibugo Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
My name is Musi Mist.
My name is Ketuake Mnguni
on the Vooka
Breakfast Show.
Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various experts from different fields.
We're going to take care of you, and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now, I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blink-On Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there.
Escape the ordinary and discover the extraordinary with Swellapil Tours. Whether you're a group of friends or a family looking for a memorable getaway, Swellapil Tours has you covered. Our all-inclusive tours take you to South Africa's most stunning destinations, from the scenic beauty of Mpumalanga to the vibrant life of Gauteng and the coastal charm of Durban.
day basis, giving you your daily dose of positivity that is accompanied by an energetic start to the day. The time right about now is 38 minutes past the hour, 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, the 14th of July, 2025. And I'm about to jump into a great conversation with Brian, a Dobsonvillian, and a proud one, and I'm proud to say that these are people who are doing great and amazing stuff right here in and around our communities. And of course, as a mover and shaker, this is what we bring to you every Monday morning. Welcome, Mr. Brian.
Thank you.
You are absolutely welcome, and thank you for taking the time. I mean, I remember last week we had the conversation and it was online, but I'm glad. Like I was just saying before the break with I honestly just love having people in studio. I think it creates a bit more of an in-depth connection. Not that it doesn't when we're online, but there's something about having someone in studio. So welcome. Thank you for taking the time, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So let's dive right into it. I mean, for someone who was not listening to our conversation last week and, is trying to find out a bit more about who Brian is and the spaces that he's involved in, especially with regards to metallic consultants. Metal liquid, yes. Sorry about that. Yeah. So for metal liquid and stuff like that, who is Brian and how does he get involved with metal liquid?
Okay, Brian is a boy who grew up in Soweto.
Yes, sir.
Of course, now a man who is running Metal Liquid Consultants.
Yes, sir.
Which is a company that does we create CSI programs. We run extramural and extracurricular activities for high school students, school learners in tertiary institutions, TVET institutions, that is, even primary learners as well, learners in primary schools and youth outside. That in a nutshell, that is Brian, and a bit of history would be that I started being involved with an NGO some time back. Really, that would be in 2008, around 2008.
Oh, wow.
I started working with young people in schools, going to schools, visiting different schools, giving career guidance and interacting with these young kids to share information and to get a feel of what is needed on the ground. The long and short of it.
I see. So, I mean, let's try to, rewind back to 2013. This is at the inception now of Metal Liquid Consultants,
yes.
right? What is the driving force behind it? And what's the inspiration for the origins of Metal Liquid Consultants? I mean, you are doing great work with the NGO that you are working for back in 2008. Fast forward a couple of years later, you come up with this idea of coming up with Metal Liquid Consultants. What's the driving force? What's the inspiration? And essentially, what's the goal and the aim that you guys want to achieve as Metal Liquid Consultants?
The same work that I was doing, that I was busy with under the NGO, it's basically has advanced in Metal Liquid and through the establishment of Metal Liquid. Because it's more or less, it's basically the same thing. It's just we have now gone on a higher level and we do more impact and we've grown so much. So the transition from the NGO to Metal Liquid was inspired by the idea of making a profit from serving the nation and being clear about it, because there is a space, a vacuum that I recognized in the industry, on the industry, the space which, wherein brands and companies advertise their products and services and all that, but they do it in a way that kind of dumbs down the nation.
I see you.
Yeah, they perpetuate themes and trends that do not necessarily really add to their consciousness and to the value, and to the economic emancipation of our people. So, yeah, that's what inspired this, the possibility and the fact of coming up with a different approach on the space. You know, centering a message that would still promote brands and still push branding partners forward, but from a different messaging perspective. Yeah.
I see. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And I love how you touch on the fact that a lot of the things, just in general as the society that we consume, don't add that much value, you know, to emancipating us consciously and of course economically as individuals, specifically in the Black society. You know, we are so consumed by very minuscule things that have no value whatsoever, things that are not going to grow us as individuals, you know, to be great people one day and to be inspirations and to be individuals that can be looked up to by the younger ones who are coming behind us. You know, when you pass by as a young boy or girl can say, I want to get to the level that Brian is at, or I want to do the work or have an impact like Brian has in our community. I love that so much. So, I mean, you know, when you talk about the vision of Meta Liquid and how it's evolved and how it's grown, what has this experience taught you about, you know, grassroots impact? You know, especially from Soweto NPO, right? Info Soweto. Yeah, Info Soweto NPO. Yeah. So about grassroots levels, what do you think it's taught you throughout the experience from 2013 all the way to today?
A lot, my king. You know, so much, Mr. Musi.
Yeah.
I mean, people. If anything, people management, working with people, and understanding really how people function, what makes them tick and what makes them think. Because ultimately, we're working with people's psychology.
Yes.
I mean, everything that we are doing here is really tuning up our psychology for the next level of ourselves, whether it be to this direction or the next. So, yeah, the biggest thing about
I see.
We're here for one another. We're here to spark one another, to sharpen one another. You know, iron sharpens iron. So, and a lot of other things as well. So many other things. Because, I mean, I set out to achieve something and to make an impact in my community. And ended up traveling a journey.
I can imagine.
A real journey that really got me to places that I never thought I'd be, and got me from way from my comfort zone all the way back to you know to
like a 360 type of thing.
So many 360s in it. You know what I'm saying?
I see you.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, Meta Liquid has been involved and active in youth development and education, right? What do you think is the one moment for you in the field that has always reminded you or always reminds you of why such work matters, especially in and around our communities? I mean, you know, these young ones, as they are described and referred to and regarded as 2000, you know, when in our community wants to sit them down and, you know, you know, just enlighten them a bit more. They take you, what is this guy saying? Hey, man, Brian, what are you talking about? So what's the one thing that always brings you back and reminds you this kind of work is important and it actually does have an impact, even if it's one person that it touches? Well, what's that one thing for you that you can identify?
The fact that I can relate, the fact that I see myself in each and every one of those kids, you know. I definitely can get wara musi get wara ne ke le ngosiele le nna ke keleza ra go skela sele elore ha ke bona people coming to my school but or presented at the program ne ke ba excited because it's things that we don't, conversations that we don't have at home, you know, with our parents, discussions that we hardly get into so yeah, and response it's very heartwarming. It's very heartwarming because you get there and they brighten up, their eyes light up. They literally want to have these conversations. And yeah, it's very humbling.
I see.
You know, being in that space.
I see.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've also been involved in bursaries and, you know, in workshops, and you've built quite an ecosystem, you know, with the work that Metaliquid does. So, what do you think is, or rather, how do you ensure lasting impact? You know, because it's one thing to come through, like you just mentioned, it's one thing to come through and have these talks and have these conversations with these young people, these young boys and girls, but it's another that the knowledge that you're trying to impart on them, or the insight or the foresight even that you're trying to impart onto them, is long-lasting and is impactful, rather, for the longest of times. So how do you ensure and make sure, as Brian Khore, the work that I'm doing will even continue in my absence, God forbid? So how do you navigate that space?
It's all in the admin, and you know, that's where the business side matters.
Yeah.
Really. So I've taught myself administration. Okay, sharp. I have background in sharp, yeah, business administration, because
nice
I did become accounting. I didn't finish it. Okay, I dropped out at some point, but I understand business administration, and beyond that, I have went on to teach myself to learn administrative tools and business modeling. You see, business modeling is what you are talking about now. It's the question that you're asking me about now. I'm modeling my business in such a way that administrative-wise, there is a flow from one process to the next, and it's easy for a person coming from outside to really follow on based on the processes that I have drawn myself, that I've prepared for them. Even a group, for instance, in 2020,
yes, sir,
I did an event at Pace. It's an event at Pace. I had a branding partner. Geez, I even forgot the name of that company.
Yes.
I worked with so many. Geez, I worked with so many organizations and companies, you know. So they came in, and they bought in, they basically funded the whole thing. And then what happened is that, because the lady was in Cape Town, the CEO of the company, I'll remember the name, I'll give you the name.
Sure.
Now. She was in Cape Town, in Durban, that is. She was in Durban throughout the stages of organizing the whole thing. So she was there, and I was this side working with the school. And throughout the process, I drew up an entire documentation, an entire administrative process for the event, and also did the implementation plan, operations plan, and all that, to such an extent that, Musi, I was able to hand the project document to the people. And because I then had another engagement that came, which clashed with the day of the event itself. And then the simple thing that I had to do is to hand in the project document to the people, and they ran that thing flawlessly.
Wow.
They did it flawlessly.
Very impressive.
I have a serious track record on this. I've got past documents that it's now easy for me. It's smooth for me, because I'm quite experienced in this.
I see.
So I hope it answers your question.
It does. It does.
Yes.
It does. So I mean, it's been like what, 12 years now, since the inception of Metaliquid.
Yes,
right.
yes,
this is back in 2013.
Yes.
And 2 years ago was the 10th anniversary, the 10th year anniversary, right? And now it's celebrating its 12th year in existence.
Yeah.
So let's now fast forward about 5 years from now. This is 2030, right? What is the dream that Brian has for Metaliquid Consultants, and the communities that you perhaps also like to go into and serve? Is it looking like, on a national level, that you would like to have long-lasting impact throughout our country of South Africa? Or is it even the goal or the dream of jumping borders and crossing borders and moving this work into other countries as well? What does the vision look like 5 years from now?
The impact matters more.
Yeah.
The impact matters more. So definitely jumping borders is on the horizon.
Yeah.
And we are looking at, Metaliquid in 5 years' time runs national events in SA. We run provincial events of students, provincial empowerment events of learners and students. We have an ongoing thing. That is the vision of Meta Liquid in 5, just in a nutshell, in 5 years. And I mean, the communities from here, which is where the need is, which is where really the most demand is for the work.
Yes, definitely.
We're going out to the rural places.
Yes.
For me to understand the work and for me to build myself, to build a profile. But the rural communities, my king, quite short.
Yeah, I can imagine.
There's so much that is not happening there. The rural communities, which is happening here. And hence you find the whole migration to these spaces, which ends up cluttering our spaces and creating more problems than solutions, you know. So from here, we're really stretching out to even those informal communities, Mikuku, you know, those communities.
Informal settlements, yeah.
Informal settlements, yeah, there's a need there. There's
I
really
see.
a need there. And yeah, I mean, you would know the places like Bo Tsepiso,
Yeah.
Bo Extension 12, we can name so many places like that. But there's there seems to be more of them now in our spaces, in our provinces,
Surrounding areas,
than we
Than
have
there was,
townships,
yeah.
than we have
Urbanized townships.
You know
yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
can
That's
I
what's
can
up.
imagine. I see.
That's
I
what's
see.
up most.
Very cool stuff. So in closure, look, man, there's a young change maker out there who's tuning in and who's watching, and you know, wants to find out from Brian. What advice would you give me, Brian?
Yes,
You know, as a young change maker, I want to have long-lasting impact. I want to impart the vision that I have, the goals that I have, the dream that I have, and have it be, you know, imparted in such a positive way and have long-lasting impact like I've been mentioning. So what advice would you have for them from wherever they are tuning in from as a young upcoming change maker out there?
All right, Musego Dladling, Waupula, Abato Pasa. You know, let's bring it home.
Yeah.
Abato Pasa, Wanagohai, Waipulella, or Gito Pasa, this year Gito Pasa metric, or Gito Pasa grade 10, or Gito Pasa grade 12, or I'm gonna get the job.
Yeah.
You have applied for the job, you went for the interview, you did well in the interview, but the biggest thing is to tell yourself, those are affirmations. Do more affirmations that are positively shaping your life. Do more declarations, because affirmations are really declaring who and what you are about, the person that you choose to be, the status that you see yourself at.
Yeah.
So yes, do more affirmations. And I would like to say that Musi,
yes, sir.
The concept is very powerful. I heard you there. Okay, I did not know about this feature of you introducing words. And
oh yes, word of the day.
Word of the day,
yes,
the word of the day feature. Yes, I didn't know about it, but there is a word that I'd like to bring, which I had in mind, which the frequency of words.
Yes, sir.
The frequency. Before I get into neuroplasticity, frequency. I hope I understand the frequency, what it is. But frequency is power and the level and impact. So words have impact.
Yeah.
Words have power. Use your words right, because words were given by the Creator for us to shape our lives and for us to build ourselves. So use your words right. That's the first thing. Secondly, neuroplasticity. So as you tell yourself every day, as you affirm positively, you affect your mind. So neuroplasticity is I don't know if
I've never heard of that term. Yeah.
Okay. Second word of the day.
Neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity.
Yes, sir.
Neuroplasticity definition, also known as brain plasticity, is the brain's ability to change and adapt throughout a person's life. This includes forming new neutral connections, strengthening existing ones, or even rerouting functions from damaged areas or to healthier ones. So I would say tlhaloganyo ya ithuta. Tlhaloganyo ya ithuta, really wa e ruta tlhaloganyo ya gago. We learn and unlearn throughout our lives.
Definitely.
We just don't do it consciously. So please do it consciously and learn to become the greatest and most powerful version of yourself mo lefatsheng. O tlisitswe ke Modimo mo lefatsheng. Ke la mele o tsule nna ke nna ga o tlholwe try unit time o tharo wa badimo. If you have any last question or no?
No, that's great. That's a great way to close off this conversation. It was very, very, very insightful and thought-provoking as well. And this is what we aim to do right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So thank you, Mr. Brown. We appreciate you so much. And hopefully, sometime in the future, God willing, and of course we can have a conversation with Fifi and try to sort out those logistics. But maybe talk a bit more about the Affirmations Champions League, because we didn't have time to get into that. When you're having fun, they say time flies. Unfortunately, the time is not on our side this morning. But thank you again for coming, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Tate Musi.
And you heard it right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Neuroplasticity. Use your words right, because words have a long-lasting impact, and this is what words were meant for. Use them right and be considerate and conscious of them. Words have frequency. So with that being said, we're quickly going to take a very, very short break, run to the loo, and so we're not going to grab a glass of water. We're quickly going to jump into the conversation on our topical desk, our desk of discussion with Make It My Money, and of course UTC, and they are joined by Mr. Dolphin, and I can't wait for you to get into the conversation. But with that being said, continue sharing your thoughts, your opinions, and of course everything else in between right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network. I'll see you a bit later on.
It's been a very powerful and empowering Monday where we talk all things impact and things that are meaningful, giving us insight into important topics and issues that we face. And of course, right now, we are about to go and talk to another change maker in our community. As South Africa's political landscape evolves, so must its leaders, especially its young ones. So today on Movers and Shakers, we have a young fire, somebody who is also bringing the fire to our Monday, for our Monday motivation through the voice of Dolphin. Please, you have to help me with your surname or your name. Please say your name.
Dolphin Khena.
Okay.
Dolphin Bogbu Khena.
Bogbu. There you go. Dolphin Bogbu Khena, a dynamic youth activist, creative thinker, and a volunteer at the Youth Crime Prevention Desk. He brings with him a powerful concept, social revolution, a call for young people to stop spectating and start shaping the future. This conversation is a wake-up call for every young person who has ever doubted their impact. Because if not us, then who? Right? So welcome to Movers and Shakers Vooka Nation, where we will be kicking off the week by spotlighting the bold voices that are changing the game. And of course, today's guest, as I mentioned, is not more than just a thinker, he's a doer. Dolphin Bogbu Khena is a passionate youth activist and volunteer at the Youth Crime Prevention Desk with a creative edge and a fearless mind. He's here to introduce a powerful idea, social revolution, a movement that calls on the youth to rise, act, and lead. So if you've been feeling disconnected and frustrated with politics or change, or unsure of where you fit in on the food chain, today's conversation is your fuel. Let's meet the revolution. Welcome to the Vooka Breakfast Show, Dolphin.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm excited.
I'm glad you're excited, because I want you to, as we dive in, let's start with the heart of this conversation, right? What exactly do you mean when you say social revolution?
Social revolution is actually a breakdown of two words, the revolution and evolution of our societies. So we are asking ourselves what we can do for the issues that are plaguing our societies and the need for change to happen. And when we speak about change, we're actually speaking about the evolution of our societies. And for the evolution to take place, what needs to happen is a revolution, socially speaking. And that is in, the most blank statement of what the revolution stands for.
Right.
I think the importance of the revolution, as well as why it came about, is something that is more magnificent. Actually, the solutions are always far more simpler than the reasons why as to why they need to come about. We all have the vision, we all have the end goal in mind, that this is what needs to happen for our societies, this is what needs to happen for our people, but more often than not, these things don't happen. And why is that the case? And that's where the social revolution actually comes in, by filling in and bridging in that gap to actually ensure that this is what happens, and the necessary components to actually ensure that this happens, and in advocacy and activism.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite important to see more and more youth getting involved, and I mean, actively involved in, politics and in shaping, our country. So I love the term that you've coined, social revolution. And in a time where now we're in 2025, as opposed to, we just went through Youth Month and Youth Day. And during that month, a significant event happened right here in Soweto, which was the Soweto Uprising. So how do you think, and
Yep.
I've seen how, the mindset has shifted and the focus has shifted within the youth. So why do you think so many young people are passive about politics? And how do how can you shift that mindset?
Well, I'll tell you this, our nation is in a PTSD. Yeah. This is something that I actually found out. When you look at our history, there's a term or a saying that says, looking at our history is like sitting on a cat.
Ooh.
And it's because of how painful our history is. And what has then happened is we have had a shift over generations that has caused the outlook or the perception on our history to change from generation to generation. And we come across terms like social decay. So this is now the breakdown or the deteriorating element of our societies from generation to generation, meaning that from our history, it's been going downhill. Like, we have been going down socially. Do not look at technological advancements and think that we're improving. Some things are improving, but socially we are not, especially in our societies in Africa. And so this is something that is a very, very necessary component. When we talk about evolution, there is a way that comes about, even biologically. So, if you've read Eckhart Tolle, they speak about, he speaks about how evolution happens, as a result of a radical change. So a radical crisis, or when your survival is threatened, that then enables an organism or an individual to, make one of three decisions, but to undergo a transformation of some sort, which is either go extinct or become endangered or make an evolutionary leap.
Yeah.
So that is the choice that we are faced with all the time, unknowingly.
Yeah.
And it has been seen more, time and time again, that people have chosen to go extinct because of the subliminal element of the crisis. It is something that is so subtle that it enables one to not react to the crisis, and then what then happens is you go extinct, right? So what you need to do is you need a proactive approach. That is what enables the evolution.
Yeah.
Now, there's a reason why this hasn't happened, and it's because of something I call low pressure. So I will make an example just to simplify this concept, I guess, this idea.
Yes.
So it is low pressure. and you have, for example, the water crisis that we faced recently.
Yes.
It was this year, I believe.
Yes.
Earlier this year.
Still ongoing.
Still ongoing in some parts, which is actually a problem. But if we actually take these problems and attribute them to our evolution, we begin to see things that are not dissimilar, and these can help our modes of thinking in how to shape ourselves and our evolution. So let's go back to low pressure. Low pressure, you have the water crisis. There was low pressure coming out of taps. If
Water coming out of tap, yeah.
If this was affecting your area, so you would remember that there was low pressure coming out of taps, meaning there was water coming out of your tap, but the water was, like trickling out. Now, this caused some people to actually believe that there was no problem for a very long time, because you have water, and but it's just less water, so I don't need to do anything about it. It's like, okay, maybe like there'll be water, and it took some people months to react. When there's an issue, I've heard a saying that says you need to when you look at your physiology, when there's an issue in your body, like your skin will react. There'll be a flare up. Your body will tell you that we have a problem right now. And that's what needs to happen in societies, because in societies you also have what is referred to as a system, just like your biology, just like your physiology is a system. And there are components in this system that have different functions, and some of these functions have a way to respond to issues. Now, the same thing needs to happen in our societies in the form of activism, because how is it that no one reacted when there was a water crisis? We're talking about basic human rights. It doesn't sound like something that is, something to actually make a big deal over, right? Low pressure. That is the low pressure. That's the low pressure thinking. You have to be very very strong about these issues to recognize that it is a problem, to not sit by and let it be a problem, because that's how social decay happens. It's a slide, and it's one, when you choose to do nothing, that's a decision that you've made. And over time that, causes further problems. So that's what low pressure means. It means that there's something that is an issue, but it's not really affecting me in a way that I need to, and this is a mode of thinking that I'm using here, in a way that I need to react to it and do something about, which then causes further problems. And then when the big problems are here, we're like, oh my word, we have big problems, but you had small problems at one point.
And you just allowed them to get bigger.
Yes.
Grow.
So our evolution has to be in the same way. We don't need to have our back against the wall to start doing something about what's happening. And if you actually need for your back to be against the wall, because some people need to have their survival threatened in order to actually evolve. So if you actually need a reason to actually get up and do something, it is the fact that every small issue that you let slide then become snowballs. Actually, the snowball effect is true even in our society.
Yes, that's
our societies,
right.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that youth are getting more and more vocal about these kinds of issues and what they, essentially how their communities are being shaped, and, the activism that is actually happening. So I know that, activism can come in many ways. We've had people here on the show who have used art as a form of activism, right? So what role does but then you've called yourself a creative thinker.
Yes, ma'am.
So what role does creativity and creative thinking play in activism and actually inspiring this change from that small act, that will later obviously have that big impact?
That's a wonderful question. Because creativity then comes back to our free will as humanity. So I guess as the generations have gone by, we've had the privilege of freedom.
Yeah.
So in the olden days, there had to be a specific way that people fought back against the system, a specific way that people fought for their freedom. And well, even then, human beings had free will.
Yes.
And there were ways that they did that, creatively so. Now, I'll tell you this, creative thinking goes beyond creative output. Creative thinking goes into, you can have creative ways to solve problems. So creativity is actually, an element of our being as human beings that we've been blessed with, that can enable us to change the world. So that's how powerful creativity is. It goes beyond creative output, like art, like music, like film, It's
a way of thinking.
It's a way of thinking, 1000%.
Yeah. Man, I'm listening to this conversation and now speaking about all of the societal injustices that are taking place in our communities. One would argue that yes, it is indeed that some of those problems do take place, and we are seeing a lot of social injustices that require inquiries and investigation also. Because I remember when we were at the AIDS Healthcare Foundation breakfast, last week Friday, Ibanomonde, mentioned that young people are still facing the lack of trust, from the leadership, so that's how you see in terms of the systems that are being put in to say, okay, these systems have been created, but the people who are creating, as much as you are saying that we are a generation that is, our country is experiencing PTSD, right? So these are the people who are like, guys, how much we fought for, and we can't just, let you guys run away with it because you don't understand the struggle that came with bringing these systems, along to help the country. So what do you think, young peoples today are most misunderstood about in the society as a whole?
So what they're most misunderstood about is, if you trace back the lineage, the fact that there's an apathy in our societies, what seems like a carelessness, what seems like people don't care, is the apathy. Young people have a misunderstanding in how they have been taught. How they have evolved. And they downplay how much the previous generations have had a role in how they have been shaped. So when I spoke about PTSD, if we can go to our parents, because if we start looking at our history, it doesn't take much to come across apartheid. And our parents were in apartheid. That's why it's very close to our to our generation, because our parents were in it. It's not. I'm not talking about apartheid from 1,000 years ago. I'm talking about like a generation ago, or two, in some cases. And so the PTSD from our parents then caused the apathy to trigger in them to not teach correctly, and therefore the generations that followed became disconnected from the significance of our history and our lineage. So now the things that spirit will do what it does, and people will grow in some ways. Definitely, the generations will become better than us. Currently, the Gen Zs are better than the previous generation in terms of technological advancement. They are better in terms of how quickly they grow, how quickly they learn, because of social media, because of the internet, because they're also awesome, right? You know what I mean? Gen Z's are awesome, and there's just something that they're lacking. which is the spiritual element that comes with who we are. And once that part is reconnected to who they are, that's when we'll have revolution. That's where we'll have such a boom in how things are progressing because of how they have adapted. So some people, became more intellectually inclined, had to know what was going on in the world. They have to know what's going on in the metaverse. They have to know what's going on social media. But it's what they're pushing on social media that actually, is the loose screw, the type of content that they're making, and once that tightens up, you'll have more modes to explore our spirituality in. I'll give you an example here. What I'm talking about is, let's look at AI. AI can be used in many, many different ways, but you have an AI that can deliver African ideologies. So that's where we're talking about the advancement of humanity meets the spiritual element. You see what I'm saying? So how they have adapted, the Gen Zs, if that connects to our spirituality, that then makes that all that more powerful, because now what then happens is the revolution now exists on another level. And it already does. It already exists, metaphysically. We just need more active we need a more active approach. We need active citizenship. We need activism. We need people to be activated, in order to actually, bring about the revolution.
Very powerful, man. Conversation that we are having right here. And we have some of the comments on YouTube from Kabelo Monareng saying fact, and comes back and say we have chosen ignorance as a nation. Then I can explain, comes through saying, hey, Dolphin, I'm here, my man. Then Pumlani, like he's saying, hitting them with that biology, bro. Right? And Bohosi lastly says, yes, look at fees must fall. How powerful it was. The youth are always game changers. Right? So now if we look into the system, if the system is broken, do you believe in fixing it or completely reinventing it?
Absolutely reinventing. And the reason
so
why,
you don't fix the wheel, you reinvent it.
There's a very important reason as to why reinvention needs to happen. And it's because the system has been fixing itself forever. Yet it's still a problem. The system is kind of like, you know what I mean? It's literally like an abusive boyfriend. It is. You know what I mean? Except the abusive boyfriend now hits you less. Like if he used to hit you every day, he hits you like once a month now. You know what I mean? So it's still a problem. Why is he still here?
Why is he still hitting you?
Why is he still hitting? You know what I mean? So it's the fact that the initial intention when it came to how the system was designed was not for liberation. Let's be honest. True. Because if you look at capitalism, right? Capitalism is a system we use to this day. The question is why? The question is not why. We know why. There's reasons why people like it. However, it is inaccurate. Capitalism is inaccurate. And if we go back to your question of reinventing the wheel, a wheel was invented. This wheel is capitalism. Capitalism stems from colonialism, which means that the initial intention in capitalism was not for liberation. It was for oppression. It was so it wasn't designed to liberate you or your people. So why are you surprised that there's inequality and imbalance in our societies? And then we still use it today, right? And it got better over time. People have gone to war with capitalism. It's a problem. Trust me. We
know your Che Guevaras, your Gaddafis. Yes,
Karl Marx.
Karl Marx.
I came across Marxism studying the Black Panthers, and it's the fact that you have Karl Marx, who, in my opinion, won against capitalism because capitalism capitalism started to negotiate with Marxism. So you have capitalism now negotiating better wages for workers, for the working class, who are referred to peasants in feudalistic system. That is the precursor to capitalism, by the way. Meaning that's where capitalism comes from. It comes from that system of peasants, nobles, and kings. From 1000%, which still exists today, just in a more subtle form. Of course, it's more subtle form because the system got better, but it still exists. That's the problem. So you have the system that kept getting better, kept getting better, yet there were still problems. Now, when we talk about capitalism negotiating with Marxism, we say that capitalism started offering better wages to the working class, the peasants or the proletariats. Then you have capitalism negotiating and saying there will be better working conditions, meaning we will start taking care of the working class, so they don't get diseases while they make us money. And then you have capitalism negotiating. This is still a long time ago, but I want to show you something cool. It's the fact that and then capitalism says the working class will now be able to own shares in the businesses that they are working for, which by the way was previously not allowed. The working class only worked for wages. They were not allowed to own shares in businesses. So today, people are spoiled for choice. They're able to buy shares everywhere. They're able to own everything. But that wasn't allowed at some point, and that was capitalism. How often do you turn on the news and find a strike happening over wages, and then wages get improved? That's the exact same negotiating that capitalism was doing from a long time ago. Same system, just got better, right? But it's the same system. That's the problem. That's why we need to reinvent the wheel. And here's another reason why we need to reinvent the system. Is because capitalism, by definition, the word to capitalize would mean to take advantage of another. So when I make money, you are spending money. So I make and you spend, and we wonder why there's imbalance. So when we have that mode of operating, there will forever be an imbalance. And also, other imbalances happen spiritually because people then start to take advantage of each other and things like that. The wheel that we need to reinvent is one of, before we go into the wheel we need to reinvent, let's talk about intention. The intention of capitalism. And intention is something that is so powerful because, again, if we go back to Eckhart Tolle, he describes something called a new heaven and a new earth. Now, earth is the physical manifestation, the physical realm, and the physical manifestations of a new heaven, which is the metaphysical aspect. So we will, a lot of things are metaphysical, but for now, let's go to the thought realm, because that's where intention comes from thought. So a new heaven would be thought. And now what happens in a new heaven, what happens in heaven or thought would then manifest itself physically on earth. And that's what intention, that's how powerful intention is. It means that, what we think is what is actually going to happen. So now, if we look at what happened as a result of what people thought when they created capitalism, you will see that it actually was not good. To put it plainly, I could try to describe it, but you know how bad it was. And that's the intention that capitalism had, the intention that was fed into the conception of capitalism. No matter how well you try to polish capitalism, no matter how nicely you try to make it, no matter how much you try to fix it, no matter how much you try to edit it, the intention was wrong. There's no going around that. That's the truth. Truth is absolute.
Yeah.
There's nothing beyond the truth. It is absolute. So what you need to do when you reinvent the system is you need to now do so with a harmonious intention.
Yeah.
That's the new heaven. And another reason for this is the Lord's Prayer speaks about on earth as it is in heaven, right? So that means that what happened on earth will manifest physically on earth. And now, if you had the chance to reinvent the system, which we do, you would then make it so on earth as it is in heaven. Under God, meaning positively. So, and then it would be so on earth in the realm of thought, agreed upon. Harmony, agreed upon would mean harmony.
Yeah.
And then that intention would manifest physically on earth.
Yeah.
And capitalism, when we talk about capitalism, we say that there are other economic systems that work in the world.
Yeah.
There are other options. This is not to say that we should adopt anyone else's economic system. This is just to tell you that something else does work. So don't be fooled into thinking that capitalism is the only thing that is able to work for our systems. It is that way because it is the most appropriated economic system. Like, they fought for it the most. It spread the most. That's what colonialism does. Colonialism, spread and appropriated its own systems, and it appropriated its own systems and upon the world, so that can work. You can look at that approach and say we can use the exact same approach to create an economic system of our own.
Yeah.
One that is going to, and the reason why it hasn't been done is because, in my opinion, of laziness. Because who's going to do it? Who's going to, our generation is.
And
not.
It's a lot of work because, to start over right now with a new system, it would mean collapsing what already exists, and that would mean going to zero. See how Zimbabwe
Beautiful.
Yes.
It's beautiful that you actually bring that up. Africa, the richest. I love Africa. So Africa is so rich in culture. And
minerals and resources.
We don't even have to talk about minerals. That's how rich the continent is. So I want to talk about culture, and I want to talk about all these other things. To say that the vastness and the diversity in Africa has offered miraculous solutions.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you talk about Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe did things right. There were things that they did right, and things that we can learn from. So if you look at Zimbabwe as a family member, a family member, because as Africans we are family. There's no getting around that.
Yeah.
It is just the division that was forced upon us that enabled us to look at each other differently. But when you learn the truth, you then start to correct the mode of thinking that was taught to you that we are different people, and to start to realize that we are actually one people.
Yeah.
Literally one people. Some tribes in South Africa stem from other parts of Africa, like West Africa.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the Zulu nation. I identify as Zulu. That's how
nice.
You know what I'm saying? That's how much I believe in lineage.
Yeah.
And the truth of it. Because even in states like North America, they are like a melting pot of genealogy and lineage. They do this thing where they track their genes to be like,
oh yes,
yes, to be like, oh, so I'm actually
I'm 1/3.
You know what I'm saying?
Cherokee and
you know what I mean?
African,
6th. Yeah.
If we did that, we would find each other in all of us, all over Africa. And you don't even need to do that. You can look at our languages to do that. It's Swahili, you find Zulu in Swahili. You find all, like, most languages exist in Swahili. Like our languages exist within one another.
Yeah.
We didn't even have to go into our biology to know that we are inside one another. When it comes to genealogy, that's how much of a one people we are. Now, if you want to expand that even more, you can say that all people on Earth are then connected, because if you trace genealogy back far enough, you would find a common ancestor, meaning that we come from one person. We come from one source. Let me not say one person. We come from one source. That's how connected we are. So division is really figment of imagination. If we actually then and that's why I came across something that said you have to do away with things that divide, and foster connectivity, and you will find the truth when you do that.
I love that.
So there was something we spoke about Zimbabwe.
Yes.
And when it comes to Zimbabwe, if we start to look at Africa as neighboring, literally neighboring in terms of family, neighboring nations that are like extended family, you can start to now learn from how they did things. So
Traore.
You know what I mean? Ooh.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yes. He is him.
Yes. 1000%. The leader, king, in my opinion. And and not just in terms of social class, but in terms of how he's handling everything. We don't have to analyze what he's doing. That's something that's already
been done.
But he is a magnificent example, in terms of who we need to become as African people. We need to become the ideologies that were left here on the surface of the earth. We need to become that, because they highlighted so many things. Religion works the same way. They left, doctrines and ideologies that are still practiced to this day to foster harmony. But let's go back to Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Because I want to show you something cool.
Okay.
I want to say that that they actually they did something right when they got it wrong.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So what then happens is that they went to zero to reinvent the wheel. Right? And that didn't work. But we're still Africa. So what that means is that we just found a way not to do it. In the example of one country, one of our countries as Africa, the continent, right? So now how are we gonna do it? How are we gonna reinvent the wheel? Are we gonna go to zero? No, obviously that didn't work for Zimbabwe. So why would we do it? So we have to find another way. That means that we need to go back to intention. We need to go back to heaven to then start at what we are trying to do, and then let that manifest onto earth. Manifest onto earth.
So the manifest in the policies, and obviously
1000%.
in the system and in the government.
1000%.
Okay.
And then if that works, we have found it.
Okay.
Which is awesome, because I want us to find it. However, if it doesn't work, then someone else will take it from there. One of our countries. Guess how many we have? 52. You know what I mean? We cannot be stopped. Africa will prosper. Will repair. Will redress. Will be the future.
And
as it already is.
And I love that, you've been speaking policy, you've been talking system, and of course, the one that we currently do. So before we close off, if you could implement one policy or youth-focused reform today, not even tomorrow, today, what would it be and why?
Oh, yeah. Something I would call the Social Improvement Act, which I already have been working on.
Okay.
So the Social Improvement Act is, really what the social revolution is about. Just manifested in policy.
Okay.
Yeah. And why is because the evolution of our societies that needs to take place is something that has to be sustained. So we have had evolutions take place before. We have had the right intentions. That's why, I can go up to a person and talk about these things, and it can sound familiar to them. And they can be like, oh, I've heard that before. Yeah, that's because someone has done it, right? But it happened, and then it stopped happening. Meaning that I picked it up from there, and I figured that, okay, so the reason why that we have not been seeing a change is not because people don't know what to do. They know the right answers. Like I said before, the answers are a blank statement. We know exactly what to do. It's the how to do it that is the question. So they've been doing it the right way. We just needed a way to sustain it, to make sure that this changes forever, right? And that's now where the policy comes in, where mandate comes in, and where the Social Improvement Act comes in.
Yes. So what is the Social Improvement Act about? So it in just simple, straightforward terms.
It is about it is about development.
Okay.
Yes, it is about development. The First Lady of Sierra Leone said that in order for there to be development, you have to. So in order for there to be development, you have to, you have to eliminate the issues that are preventing development.
Okay.
So you have to think of development as a structure or a building.
Yeah.
And you are trying to develop a building. But there's an earthquake, right? And this earthquake is now preventing you from building a stable structure, because every time you build, it breaks down.
Yeah.
So now what's the problem? The earthquake. So you need to do something about the earthquake. Now when you have stable ground, only then can you start developing your structure.
Yeah.
So I took development in the same mode of thinking, and figured that when it comes to development, what we need to do is we need to eliminate the issues that we have in our societies in order to then develop the societies that we want to see, that we want to actualize, in the world.
Yeah.
So a way to do that is by eliminating the social issues that we actually are dealing with, because we're speaking about social issues, we're speaking about our societies.
Yeah.
And, you have, socioeconomic issues that are, the main focus of when someone is trying to do something about the country.
Yeah.
When they're trying to help out the country, when they're trying to solve the problems of a nation or of a country, they focus on the socioeconomic issues. Now, socioeconomic issues are not the first level when it comes to the big picture. You have socioeconomic issues at floor one, and then you have social issues at ground floor.
Yeah.
So that means that the building blocks of these issues are at social.
Yeah.
So you need to, and there's a plethora of examples of how social issues affect people, and then also perpetuate socioeconomic and also perpetuate socioeconomic issues and perpetuate the big problems. There's a whole bunch of already identified social issues, some that I've identified. I found some. Because there are that many issues socially. But now there's a cool way to think about it, which is the fact that they all stem from people. You know, they all stem from people because, you know, if we're talking about social, it means these issues are affecting people and affected by people.
Yeah.
Whether knowingly or unknowingly.
Knowingly, true.
Powerful.
So let's end on this, right? Essentially, what does a youth-led future look like to you, and how do we start building it today?
A youth-led future.
Yeah, quite quickly, just let's end on this note. So what does a youth-led future look like to you, and how do we start building it today?
So a youth-led future to me looks like the belief in the youth to be able to actually to be able to do it. So a Thabo Mbeki element for the youth. Meaning we got this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like we got this. We like it's in good hands because Thabo Mbeki got it passed over from Nelson Mandela. You know, and it was like Nelson Mandela fought for everything, and it was like he did it, and you know got into the presidency, you know, and played his role, you know, tremendously. And then, you know, from there on it got passed to Thabo Mbeki, and it had to be taken care of. To say that, you know, you need a stable leadership to say we got it from here, we can take it from here. And that same mode needs to apply to the youth. We need to have so much more belief in the youth, but you know, it's the fact that you know, we have this freedom without responsibility. You know, we were taught about rights and responsibilities in primary school. I remember. I think I remember.
I also remember learning that in primary school.
You know, like literally. I think it was like grade 5. You know, we learned about this, and now the youth has so much freedom, and which is awesome because you need that. And when we realize that freedom is the blessing bestowed onto the youth in order to then, you know, lead, that's when things are going to change. Because now the freedom is used frivolously. It's like, I have freedom. Stop talking to me. I'm free. I'm going to do what I want. You know what I mean? And you know, that's freedom. That's what happens when freedom has no responsibility. Or has little responsibility. What you need to do is you need to have more responsibility, you know, for your freedom, so that you are then able to then have that. So let's go back to what a youth-led future looks like. And
so would that be more youth in parliament? Would that be more youth in leadership positions when it comes to parliament? Is that seeing more, perhaps, you know, generals in the, what is it? Like, what is it to you?
Brilliant.
Yes, lieutenants, you know, who are leading change, who are, you know, taking the struggle forward, or, you know, what does it look like?
Thomas Sankara once said something. He said, a soldier without an ideology is a criminal. You know,
a soldier without an ideology is a criminal.
You know, you know, he might have specifically said a political ideology. But it is ideology nonetheless. Which means we now need to reconnect the youth to ideology, to higher power, and you know, and that is going to enable the youth to take decisions that are going to be right for the country. So what it looks like is, like you said, youth in leadership.
Yes.
You know, and youth in leadership, youth in, you know, all these places, but specifically youth in leadership as well. You know.
So leadership in parliament.
You know, leadership can happen in any, you know, any
on any
sphere.
level.
Yeah,
Okay.
any level in any sphere.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about parliament, that's also obviously a part of it. However, I'm not ignorant of the fact that experience does play a tremendous role when it comes to when it comes to
yes.
When it comes to how to actually run things.
Yeah.
Now that is to say that if we actually put youth ahead and then had the experience backing the freedom of the youth, that can work.
Okay.
But now we're conceptualizing. But it can, because if I tell you that no, we have to respect the experience factor of leadership in parliament, that's me saying that things need to stay the same.
Okay.
And I don't want to say that, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we need the youth there. However, we need the youth connected to lineage, so that when it's their time to do it, they can do it right, just like Ibrahim Traore. Because when Ibrahim Traore got in, he did it right. And it wasn't, magic. Yes, it's magical. It is very, very
Black magic.
Hey, black power.
Yes, man. Yes.
So the fact that he actually he was connected to the lineage of Africa, as a whole, and we have powerful, ideologies. He was connected to the ideologies of Africa as a whole, and we have powerful ideologies. Nelson Mandela, are you kidding me? Like, people don't know why he's important. That's the thing. Like, he's very, 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 very special. And there are like so many. So many,
Yes.
like we are spoiled for choice. There's so many.
Yes.
So when you connect to ideology, you will know what to do. It will guide you. It will serve as a guiding aspect, a guiding element to guide your intentions, to guide your decisions. But you have to be willing to receive it.
Willing, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's what we'll do with activism.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this conversation. It has been quite a powerful and empowering conversation right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Dolphin Khena just dropped gems we all needed to hear today. The social revolution isn't coming. It's already here.
Yeah.
And guess what? You're a part of it. So let this be your Monday motivation. Your voice matters, your actions count, and your silence, it's expensive. And it's a vote too. So choose wisely. Want to be part of the social revolution movement? Volunteer, mentor, organize, speak up, Mzansi and Vooka Nation. You know what? Tag us. Obviously, be part of the conversation by going back and sharing this conversation with somebody who needs to hear. And share it with your crew and tell a friend to tag a friend. And tell us in the comments, what change are you starting this week? Tag us using hashtag Vooka Social Revolution. And let's raise a generation of change makers. Because the future isn't something we inherit, it's something we shape. Of course, that's it from me, Utisika Mazibugo Shabalala, your prime cut creative and positivity dose of the day. And I say, move ahead into the week with intention. Be the change you want to see. And of course, don't forget to wake up and get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, man, Dolphin, thank you so much, man, for blessing us with your presence.
Thank
and
you.
We appreciate your time. Right. And lastly, I can explain coming through saying wise men once said the youth should gather as much experience when young, because in the future they will run the show. Dancing and popping bottles is not experience for the future. Very profound words. Thank you so much, guys, for being with us and for sharing that love, the appreciation that you have shown us as we are celebrating our 100th episode right here in the Vooka Breakfast Show. 100 episodes ago, this was just an idea, a spark, and today we celebrate a journey filled with laughter, lesson, inspiration, and also connections amongst each other. Hitting 100 episodes isn't just about numbers, it's about consistency, purpose, and community. It means we showed up each and every day through good days, tough days, sleepy mornings, and joyful moments. We kept going, and that's a lesson life also. So today we celebrate not just the show, but a tribe. You, our listener, our viewers from home or wherever you are. You are part of this heartbeat. Every shout out and every call, every voice note, every comment that has came in throughout our social media platform, you made this possible. Here's 200 episodes to growth, good vibes and greatness. And guess what? We just getting started. So thank you so much for this wonderful day, man. Till we see each other tomorrow up until, 27,000 episodes loading. Thank you so much for your time and have a blessed day. My name is Mokete Maimaneke, a Max for maximum temperature. I am the son of Mother Nature. Generator. See you tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Did you guys take pictures?